than you. So she's like 40, 44? 40?
Yeah, 43.
43, yeah. Okay, Rebecca was born in, I'm not going to say it on the podcast. Yeah, she's about, I want to say 15 months older than me. 14, 15, something along that range. What is it about older women, huh?
I am finishing typing up level 21 right now.
Oh, I thought you were... Shit, so you're telling me it takes you like an hour and a half to write up a level in Doom, and you think you're doing work? You ain't doing work, shut up. It takes so much longer to capture the media and record it and write it up properly. Oh, I'm
not impressed with capturing media. I've done my fair share of media, and it's not impressive.
What do you mean it's not impressive?
I'm not impressed. It's easy as fuck to hit F12 and then drag a couple of boxes into other boxes and then copy and paste links. Not impressed. You and Alex make it sound way harder than it is.
Okay, here's the problem. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
That's not what we're doing. Have you looked at that chapter 6 page?
No.
Go look at that chapter 6 page and educate yourself on what proper media looks like. And then when you've seen it, then you'll realize what you have not been doing this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, going on 20 years.
You're taking images of specific things in a sequence and putting them in caption boxes and then writing up descriptions of those. You could actually navigate most of my pages just by reading the media and the caption boxes.
I don't think Alex does captions on his media.
Well, okay, then he's not doing it well either.
Ready for battle.
Ah, get out of here.
He's not doing it well either. It takes a bit of effort to do it properly, and the way I do it is properly.
Well, speaking of proper, where's our big, fancy, lovely banner?
What, am I supposed to do that? I don't know. It takes no effort. I think I did one for AI, or did you do that one for AI?
And he said, fuck no.
Just
not just no, but because your name is on this, fuck no.
Just Google image it. He doesn't give a fuck about my name being on it.
Yeah, but he likes my name.
Just Google image whatever Doom. All you're finding is like the key art for it.
Yeah, basically. And then putting names on it.
Actually, you know what? We'll get Jared to decide. Jared's a professional. He knows how to actually write guides like a grown man who knows how to work a full day. Let me see.
Okay.
Jared, I'm going to post you 2 pages. I want you to scroll through them. All right? I'm not going to tell you who did what. Not like you'll need to fucking ask. Here. Just scroll down both those pages and tell me what the differences are.
Got a sec?
Jared, you absolutely don't have to do what Nathan says just for his ego.
Hey, he might pick yours. I don't know which one he's gonna be like, oh, this is...
Shut the fuck up. I'm going to show you 2 cups. One of them is red, one of them is blue. And you tell me which one you think is red.
It's 2 links. There's no...
I'm going to show you 2 cups. One's filled with Pepsi and the other is filled with diarrhea.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you tell me which one you think tastes better. This guy over here with it, what people would call this what?
Greg and media.
No, you can't make me.
I mean, I can't make you. But, your boss...
he just got done saying that, oh, I'm not impressed by doing media. Alex and Nathan make it sound like it's hard work. All you do is hit F12 and drag something over. No, that's not what's going on. That is not what is happening on my page. Okay? It takes a little bit of code to make those caption boxes. Those don't come standard issue from NeoSeeker.
Yeah, well, it takes a little code to add captions. It can't be that hard.
Well, no, but
I was gonna say we're spoiled.
yeah.
I remember GameFAQs, you could just click a picture and just type, and it would add a caption.
Oh, I think I made my own. Actually, I think I
And
made
I think some of the pictures you actually had to mouse over to even display the caption. It's been a while.
I can't remember how that works.
It's GameFAQs. Their thing is trash.
I haven't been doing that. Suffice to say, that's not a thing that I ever did. The way
I remember. I mean, it might be different now, but it was quite a bit of work to get captions to work on NeoSeeker. Like when I was doing stuff 4 years ago.
Do you want me to post you the code I used, Jared?
I can look it up.
Oh right, yeah. You can just hit the edit button. What am I talking about? Yeah. No,
Can you hit the edit button on anyone's guide?
As far as I know, yeah. I think so. So yeah, I just have. See, okay, Greg, I will cop to this. Once you figure out how you do it and how you want it to look, it's not that bad. Like, you still got to go through and intentionally, like an adult, take the screenshots that you want instead of just go, I've been playing 45 seconds here, F12, this will go in the guide. Sure, I'm staring at the wall right now, but that's the reader's problem. No, you're taking pictures of things for a reason, I presume.
Yeah, that's the bare minimum, it seems
so
like.
If it's just like one image in a caption, usually I don't. Well, no, here I'm lying. I captioned this one. There's a different code I use for each of these. The one image, there's a dual image, and then a triple image that I have code for. Not just the only real difference between those is you set like the pixel count behind the image file to different values. And apparently they reformatted the site at some point because the Fire Emblem images don't display correctly. Like some of the whatever. They changed things in the past fucking 5 years when I didn't do anything on NeoSeeker. So some of those...
Imagine that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens. So some of the Fire Emblem things don't look as pretty as they're supposed to, but hey, I did some testing, and it seems like around 700 pixels width is the sweet spot for what you want in terms of your caption box media. So if it's two images, it's 350 by 350 for both of them. If you
assign pixel values like that instead of just leaving it default, aren't you just kind of asking for the formatting to fuck up on you?
Well, that's how you get it to
look.
Like
in the future for
that's
any.
If they don't fuck with it, no. But if you know what?
Well, I mean, aren't you asking an awful lot for them not to fuck with it?
No, it looks good when I do it. It's their fault if they fuck with it.
I don't know.
So the triple image side by side.
I kind of think like if you just left everything default, wouldn't it age better?
No, it wouldn't, because most of the people reading it are going to read it when it's new, and they're going to appreciate it the way it's supposed to look. But and one thing NeoSeeker does that these like GameFAQs, like I think you can assign pixel values to images on both to change how big the image will be displayed on a page. The only thing is, GameFAQs, you can't just click on the image and see it at its native size like you can on NeoSeeker. So, and that is huge. That is huge because if you're like doing a double image spread on GameFAQs, there's it can be hard to see what's going on.
Doing a double image spread on GameFAQs is not worth the effort.
It's hard to see what's going on sometimes. So, but on like NeoSeeker, you can put three of them together and just click on it and you can fucking see what's going on. Takes no effort. And for this guide, since there's a lot of complex instructions for finding some of these collectibles, face this ledge, jump over here, smash through that wall, drop down this, etc. You can just put 4 images in a caption box. You don't want to put like 4 of them on a row. Then it gets too small to even see clearly. But you can do 2x2, 2x3, 1x3, shit like that, which I've made use of in this guide. So I think it looks nice. I think it looks nice, crisp, professional even.
Did you finish AI? Oh, Rebecca's not here, is she?
What do you mean finish AI?
Did she finish the game?
No, she didn't even play it. She got an extra day and she didn't play nothing. She's sleeping right now, so whatever. She's not gonna miss it. We're moving on without her.
But not gonna miss it. Like, we gotta move on to the next game at some point.
I'm not moving on to the next AI game until I'm done with the guide for this one.
You'll be done with the guide before she finishes the game.
Probably. And I know you don't think highly of my ability to finish guides in a timely manner, but...
Well, whose fault is that?
Alex's.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna blame him for everything.
I wonder if he's done with that. I know we're not done with Doom, but
we're about halfway done with Doom. Honestly.
Saturday night, I did beat the game, and it took maybe an extra 20 minutes to get the platinum.
Was that just mastering weapons?
Yeah, because you get the final Wraith Stone before. Like you're not getting the platinum when you beat the game. You get the final Wraith Stone like right before the final boss fight. So
that's fine.
There's no way, but you sure can jump in and play any chapter, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they're very
This is a very
forgiving.
easy plat. Surprisingly,
the fact that they
easy.
didn't put Nightmare mode on as like one of the trophy requirements, beating every chapter with Nightmare. Or something like that.
You know what? I think I could probably actually do that in this game. I haven't been too challenged on Hurt Me Plenty.
No, I feel like I should have played Ultraviolence from the start, but I also feel like I've tried playing the original couple Doom games in Nightmare mode, and those are horrific, and no one's ever going to beat them. So,
what are you talking about? People have done single life speedruns of them on Nightmare.
No one's beating these.
I imagine people have even beaten the last two games on the harder difficulties.
Oh, I'm sure they have, but Nathan, Jared, and Greg aren't beating Doom 1 on Nightmare mode.
No. I'd be pretty proud of beating it on Ultraviolence, honestly.
That I've done. I've watched, like, Ryan is a, I mean, you guys know Ryan Harrison, right?
Yeah.
He's written, like, 12 different reviews of Doom 1 on various platforms. Like, all their ports ever. He knows these secrets just off the top of his head, 25 years later, right? He just can tell you every secret in fucking, you name the level. I've seen him get to like the 4th stage on Nightmare and then just get blown out of the water. Like it's too hard.
What? It's the same as Ultraviolence, but with respawning enemies.
I think it's a step up from the Ultraviolence.
Just gotta move fast, that's all it is.
It is about moving fast, yeah. That is the #1 key requirement.
The enemies even drop double ammo, so it's actually a little bit easier than Ultraviolence, if we're being honest. I mean...
Yeah, let's see you do it. It's so hard.
Oh, man. I don't know. Dark Age is pretty decent. Pretty decent Doom game, definitely slower than the last two. I played 2016.
No,
everyone says
fair.
Everyone says Eternal's faster than 2016, so I'm just going
It is.
That. I hear a lot of people calling it like divisive, but I looked at the Steam score and it's like 86, 87%. That doesn't sound particularly divisive to me. That sounds like a pretty solid.
It's still Doom, in a way.
Yeah, they did over focus on this shield. Like I feel like you could easily do a challenge run where you kill almost everything in the game with the shield.
Good.
Yeah,
it's so good. It is.
I think
overly focus on it.
I think the shield in Doom is actually better than the shield in God of War.
The one person I watched play it, he wasn't very fond of the robot and the dragon levels.
Some of the dragon stuff is the worst because no one likes focusing in on ships and just doing little dodging puzzles to shoot them down. That's probably... But if that's the worst that the Dark Ages gets, then fucking okay.
Yeah, I don't like the
people
dragons.
Complain about the Batmobile stuff in Arkham Knight.
Yeah, it's similar.
Which I actually thought the Batmobile stuff was decent.
I just don't like the dragon because, like, it controls fine and intuitively. Like, for some reason, some game developers, they put a flying segment in their game and they just go, all right, we're going to make this, like, the most annoying thing to control in the history of gaming. The dragon in Doom isn't like that. It controls, like, how you expect it to, and the only problem is there's a lot of verticality, and I'm always just constantly worried I'm going to miss something while flying around on that stupid thing. And like Greg said, there's not much you do on the dragon. Like, you occasionally fight some titans, you occasionally fight some cacodemons, some enemy ships, big ones and small ones. But most of it's just like, hold down L2 to enter aim mode, and then press circle at the right time to dodge and power up your autocannons. Like, not really the most riveting gameplay. So, it's just, it makes collectibles more tedious. The levels are surprisingly vertical. Like, they expect you to go through tunnels and dive under bridges and shit to find things, and I don't know.
There is a couple of levels where you can go way out of your way for some secrets, but the dragon stuff is surprisingly linear as well.
The robots aren't bad because they're really short and those segments are really easy. So you're just
is it kind of like Panzer Dragoon or like Star Fox?
No, you're not.
It's not
you're not tagging things.
You just have like one fire mode and you're just holding down R2. That's all you're doing. Like, there's not really any depth to it. And the robots is just kind of the same thing.
If anything, the challenges make you get good by leading your. It's almost like you're a jet fighting another jet at some points. You have to actually like lead your enemies and whatnot.
Yeah. So those parts aren't great, but you know,
I'm the worst at those parts, but I also know some people really like that type of stuff.
The dragon stuff?
No, the jet combat type stuff.
Oh. No, I don't like that stuff.
I imagine some people like the dragon stuff.
I don't think so. I don't think
anybody does.
No, I don't think anybody does. Because it's not complex enough to appeal to people who normally like flight elements in games. And it's not Doom enough to make anybody else happy. So no, I don't think literally anybody likes it. There are people who tolerate it more or less than others, but liking it? No, that's another matter entirely. So yeah, Doom the Dark Ages, it's a nice little, I'd say, like, if you're not using a guide to find everything, maybe the trophy difficulty is like 3 out of 10. Because honestly, I didn't have much trouble finding anything either so far. Maybe you do another level twice because you oopsied some gold, but...
Yeah, some of those things are hard to find.
I haven't seen any of that.
They're rare. There's some stuff that's hard to find.
It's
rare, but...
If you're using a guide, you're probably at, like, 2 out of 10, maybe. Maybe. And I'm not even sure, like, I still haven't messed with all the difficulty options enough to see, but... Again, there's like a game speed slider. I don't know if it goes below 100%, but presumably you can make the game even easier than on like the lowest difficulty. I don't know.
You could turn up and damage to enemies. I messed with this when I was doing the weapon challenges. You can turn up damage to enemies to 1,000%.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no actual like FPS difficulty to this game whatsoever.
You can turn damage to yourself down to 25%, and you can do both of those things.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, if you don't have, like, 2 functioning hands, you can probably set this game to some standard that you could beat it. So, it will not cause you trouble as far as this, like, standard FPS difficulty if you don't want
it. This is a pretty easy game for people to play in Platinum if they wish. You can do all that, and trophies still pop, of course.
Yeah.
Which is way generous than a lot of games do.
I don't really remember the last game that, like, took trophies away if you set it to baby mode. I know there have been some, but I think it's been like since the PS4 that I've seen it.
Well, I've been slowly playing that Warhammer 40K bolt gun game as well.
I saw you playing that. That's actually kind of funny given the news we have this week. So, Warhammer had themselves a little show, and I didn't know what they were going to show off. I'm a little bit out of the loop when it comes to the miniatures, just because, well, two reasons. One, I don't make enough money to buy Warhammer minis anymore. But I've got enough. It's kind of like my game situation.
You haven't even done anything with the ones you have.
I painted some of them.
Some of them, what? 1%? 5%?
1% of them.
I feel like I'm being generous at 5%.
1% of a box, maybe, but
yeah,
maybe 1.1% of all of them I own. But, anyways, I don't have enough money to keep buying these things, but it's fine. It's fine. I had enough money to buy the ones I wanted when they were out, and like the last thing they did that I paid attention to, they kind of gave me everything that I wanted. Like there were a whole bunch of Eldari models that I wanted them to switch from their shitty old metal and resin forms to the new plastic, and they did that. So it's like, all right, well, I got everything I could possibly want out of them. It'd be like if Square Enix released Dragon Quest 12, Dragon Quest 8 port, and Chrono Trigger tomorrow, and I'd just be like, all right, well, the fuck do I need to pay attention to Square Enix for? Like, what are they gonna give me that I don't already have? So I wasn't really paying attention to this. I think they're in their like chaos phase of releases, and I don't really care about chaos that much. But apparently they decided to show off a crap ton of video games.
Oh, really?
And, oh, where's the news story for this? I mean, there's good and there's bad and there's meh.
Is Rogue Trader 2 one of them?
Pretty much.
Really? Because yeah, with the sales that they had on Rogue Trader, I was like, they would be really dumb not to do a second one of these.
Rogue Trader was a bad game. It was a bad game. It sucked. It was mediocre. I hate Owlcat. They're fucking terrible at their jobs. They've yet to make a single good game, in my opinion.
And yet, all the money.
You know what? I can't even blame CRPG fans for being starved.
I think there's a bunch of dumb things about Rogue Trader. Oh, that's a great statement you just said about CRPG players.
They're not even what? They're not even hurting for games.
No, they're not.
Like maybe 10 years ago you could justify it, but there's plenty of CRPGs.
Right around the time Shadowrun was coming out, and I was all freaked out about how good those games were, and like that was about the time that CRPG players were starved for games.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
And then I feel like it kind of just went uphill from there.
Well, yeah, you had all the Divinity games, and you had Baldur's Gate, and you had Pillars of Eternity, all that shit. Tyranny, you have Obsidian making a bunch of them for a while.
But Owlgate, Rogue Trader was my first Owlgate game, and I'm going to say this just because people who are listening may not know. Your history with Owlgate is horrendous.
Owlcat,
whatever. God damn it. Your history with this developer is horrendous.
No, they're legitimately bad at making games. They're legitimately bad.
The biggest reason Nathan says this is because he had to play through a bunch of first not even finished product, and he had to write up on it, and they would change it, and he had to write up on that, and they'd change it. You're really biased when it comes to them.
Okay, but I can blame them. I can list two major things of why they're bad developers that don't include any personal experience going back to that point.
All right.
One, they still are releasing buggy ass unfinished games at launch.
Yes,
especially
I will agree with that.
Especially ones that hard lock and soft lock you. And two, they just are bad at designing games. Their games are unintuitive. They're fucking their classes, their skills, their leveling structure are all fucking nearly incomprehensible gibberish. Like, I've been playing CRPGs for a long time. All right, I can tell you exactly what FACO means. I am used to obtuse, stupid rules. But when I am like, my eyes are glazing reading the description of a fucking class ability.
Level up.
Yeah, because it's just like, when you're standing on
Rogue
one
Trader is
foot,
very bad at
aiming
that.
your pistol at a 90-degree angle, you get a plus 1.725%.
With three, you're letting them off easy. With 3 enemies surrounding you that are no greater than 25 meters away.
Yeah, it's like, can you just give me like a +1 to shoot things? Isn't that fucking hard? No, not even that. Can you give me a +1 to shoot things when an enemy is within like 10 meters of me?
Shadowrun did that a lot better than Rogue Trader did, but Rogue Trader
everybody does. Literally everybody does.
Way more levels.
It's insane. It's insane.
That was my biggest complaint about Rogue Trader. But honestly, if that's the worst thing that they do, it's. I ran into some glitches that were game breaking, but I also could just reload my save and run through it again, and it wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah, you have to keep 20 fucking saves to even.
That's the smart way of doing it. For
to even make an attempt at. If you're not doing that, you are asking for trouble.
Yes.
Like, it's not if this game will glitch out on you. It is when.
It's game breaking, but it's also like it's not like it happens every time.
It kind of happens every time. It kind of happens like once a map, easily. There's something going wrong. There's something not triggering. There's something fucked up happening. Like pretty much every like major quest or chapter you're trying to do. And if I have to give a special third thing, I said 2, but I'll throw this in here too. They are terrible at balancing their game. They're just bad at tuning enemies. They're bad at tuning the player. They're bad at it. It is a fundamentally annoying experience to play an Alcat game. On the plus side, for guide writers, these games are so obtuse, complicated, and stupid that everyone who plays the game, all these hardcore CRPG players who are gonna fucking sit here and probably talk shit about me, saying these games suck, which they objectively do, despite my 30-plus years of CRPG history, they're gonna go to my fucking guide to tell them how to get through this shit, because I'm the one who suffered through it, and save-loaded, and figured out what the fuck Alcat did wrong, and how to counter it. Don't you guys lecture me at who knows what about CRPGs. I've cut my teeth with this shit plenty of times, including 2 Alcat games.
They should definitely go to my guides.
I mean, whatever. Go to a guide.
But there is, you know what? I still had fun playing Rogue Trader. I probably one of the biggest reasons I had fun is because I only had to do a third of it.
Yeah, you didn't have to do builds. You weren't on a time limit.
Yeah, that all helps. But going through and powering up as the Rogue Trader and designing your party and having control over your own character like that, still quite a bit of fun. And there was always 2 to 3 ways to finish things. That was always appreciated.
I will say that they nailed the aesthetics pretty well. The aesthetics and the lore, they did that really well.
You know what? I would probably pile on a bit at the heretical path. It does give you a few things that the other paths don't give you, but they should have done more. They should have taken it to a bigger extreme. I should have felt way different. Well,
that's kind of the thing about I don't know, like Heresy and 40K is such a complicated matter, because on one hand, all you have to really do to get labeled a heretic is like make a crude joke about the Emperor like shifting in his seat and farting, you know? Like, there's somebody who will probably shoot you in the head for that. And on the other hand, you can literally be like a pus-filled tentacled demon of lust that's being corrupted by warp influences, and like, yeah, at that point it's just objectively bad. Oh, I posted something in Discord. Somebody somebody on Facebook. I follow a number of 40K pages. For some reason, there's not much overlap apparently between the hobby pages I follow and the gaming stuff. Because I didn't really even pay attention to this stuff until, like, I saw a little bit of it on Twitter, and I saw Jared posting a bunch of these news stories on Discord. But someone posted a mug of, there's a My Little Pony, and they have that tagline, like, fucking, oh, what's it say? Let me go look at it. Oh, that's the wrong
My
channel.
Little Emperor.
No. Friendship is magic, right? And then it's got a Dreadnought tearing the fucking My Little Pony in half, and the fucking, Dreadnought saying, "But magic is heresy." And it's cute. It's a funny. Someone got a coffee mug of it. It's funny, but it just made me think, like, there's so many Warhammer fans that are, like, willfully obtuse as to what the Imperium of Man is. If you were to ask a lot of people, the Imperium of Man are the good guys, even though their number one victims are probably mankind themselves. Like, there's a lot of really dumb memes out there, and some people just, like, buy into them at face value. Like, for the Emperor shit, the Emperor protects, suffer not the mutant witch and heretic to live. Shit like that.
The might of the Imperium will crush you.
But the fun thing, like, if you've read literally any of the lore, if you read any of the novels, I shouldn't say any, but especially some of the Horus Heresy stuff that's been popular right now. I think the series for it just ended, but like a year ago, maybe. The way the Imperium is now is not what the Emperor wanted it to be. The Emperor did not want it to be a bunch of fucking religious fanatics clinging to past technology they revere as fucking holy and don't understand, while eschewing and fearing and hating all magic. Like, the Emperor was a piece of shit.
The Messiah should be worshipped, so...
The Emperor was a piece of shit.
You're sounding pretty heretical right now.
Well, the Messiah is a different thing. But the Emperor is a piece of shit. He did some nasty things. He's one of those, like, lawful evil motherfuckers who would... He can weigh the value of, like, saving 10,000 children or doing some bullshit to make a garden planet profitable for the next century, right? Like, he's gonna kill some people for the greater good. The greater good.
The greater good.
That's a Tau thing, and he also was, like, a super powerful fucking psyker. He was a witch. He was a witch and probably a mutant. It's just, this is not slight irony in the 40K fandom. It's baked in there pretty thick that the Imperium of Man as it exists in the 42nd millennium is not what the Emperor wanted it to be and doesn't reflect his values. So, but they all worship this fucking corpse on a throne doing things that he would have been strictly against, while he's powerless to stop them. Yeah, it's just funny. So, don't take the shit at face value if you're a fucking knucklehead. Like, it's not supposed... The Catholic Church is not the good thing in 40K, okay? The Emperor isn't either, by the way, but if you're too dense to fucking even get that far, the Imperium of Man is not a reflection of what he wanted.
Maybe people are just really into it, and, they're like, the children yearn for the mines.
Well, what's worse, they're fascists or they're dumb? Either way, it's not much of a compliment.
Don't make me choose between two beloved options.
Two American pastimes. Where is this news story at? Right, since you're playing Bolt Gun,
yeah, I mean, go through the games, man. List them all out.
Well, I'm not gonna list them all. I got all these things. Hold on, let me see. Right, there it is. Publisher Big Fan Games and developer ROC Digital have announced first-person shooter sequel Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun 2 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam. It will launch in 2026.
I've never heard of this developer before this game, just for the record. I went and looked at their other games, and the vast majority of it is mobile trash. So,
well,
just FYI.
How is Bolt Gun?
It's decent. I mean, it's basically like it's a Doom clone.
Thought it'd be more of whatchamacallit, Duke 3D clone.
Not really.
It's not?
Duke 3D had destructible environments.
Bolt Gun isn't made on the build engine? It looks like a build engine game. I'm a bit surprised that it's not more like Duke 3D.
I would call
honestly.
this more Doom than I would Duke Nukem, just based on destructible environments.
That's surprising. That's surprising, yeah. Also, if you aren't quite into shooting through hordes of enemies anymore on Bolt Gun, you've got a little side diversion, Greg. Arc Digital has announced Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun Words of Vengeance, a typing rail shooter reimagined.
Jesus.
Reimagining of the first-person shooter Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. It is available now on PC via Steam for free.
For free? Oh.
For free. So if you want to go try out...
I can just blaze through those fucking typing games.
Go prove it!
I'm one of them Mavis Beacon kids.
Oh my god, you actually use Mavis Beacon?
Yeah.
My mom had to use that shit.
I was so good at it that, like, more often than not, I was just playing SimCity.
I was too good for that shit. I never had to learn. I never had to take it. I learned how to play and type on Pools of Radiance. I didn't have to use Mavis Beacon. My 100 plus typing speed is totally fucking... Totally natural. I didn't need a crutch like some people.
I might just do that just so I can add it to the old review fodder list.
Oh my god. Well, if you like the aesthetics of Bolt Gun...
reviews.
Do you?
One day.
Are they going to make you a crown?
They should.
They're going to pat you on the bum?
Single-handedly keeping that side... No.
Maybe at this point. Maybe.
No, there's plenty of people that do plenty of stuff. There's lots of good people left on GameFAQs.
Are there? Name 5.
There is.
Name 5.
Name 5. Yeah. Shotgun. Humanish. I don't have to name 5 for you.
Yay! Okay, that's what I thought.
Name 5, huh? Could I name 5? Shotgun.
Name 5 who have since gone over to Neoseeker.
Span.
Span is not... Reviews. No, you're just naming names.
Do reviews not count?
Span is not good.
Span is hilarious.
No, that doesn't mean he's good.
That means he's good.
No, he's one Italian dude throwing a tantrum that they won't redesign the site entirely to cater to his Italian language-only guides.
God, yeah. Span. I said span? My God, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I said
right?
span, but I'm thinking of Suprac.
How is span on your list of one of the good ones?
My head?
I don't know. Maybe you saw a pizza or something.
No, there's some guy named Mitch talking about him recently. Mitch Haniger? That name is familiar, but I can't, for the life of me, think what he's done. Jared, do you know?
Who?
Mitch Haniger?
No idea.
He's nicknamed himself Span's Adoring Fan.
Oh my god.
It's probably just Span.
Yeah, no, it does sound like a thing Span would do to fucking, like, go undercover and try to find detractors.
It's, people have done that shit before, so it's not like it's impossible.
That's so... Okay, no,
there was that one football coordinator that did that, remember?
No. On GameFAQs?
No, not on GameFAQs.
Oh, well, I don't care about some random football guy.
Football, like, professional NFL football coordinator that would defend himself in articles under a fake name.
Oh my
and
God.
One day he forgot to change his name.
Dude, you are being paid to... Don't you have better things to do with your time, like maybe coordinate better?
No, he's got to make sure he's got that job next Sunday.
Well, you know what? I don't think arguing on fucking Yahoo that you're actually underappreciated is gonna do it, but what the fuck do I know? I don't know.
Ooh, a great unclean one. This is new.
Oh, you're playing Bolt Gun still?
Yeah.
But, like, okay, seriously. Who gives a fuck what anybody on GameFAQs has to say about anything, honestly? Like, people still view that place... nobody with any opinion there still, like, if you're still on that site, your opinion doesn't matter. It never has, never will. Like, what do
Well,
you
they have that new administrator, right? What's his name? Fuck. Jared, help me out.
Are they sharing ad revenue yet?
No.
All right, then they haven't done anything.
He made a topic recently about getting review copies of games, and this is his topic. And to be fair, it wasn't like he was saying he was going to do this. This was just a discussion topic that he was floating.
That sounds like a disaster.
What if we got review copies for games and gave them to guide writers in exchange for guides being written?
It sounds like you're still going to have to pay me about minimum of 10 times more than the value of that game? Like, no, that's the quid pro quo that he thinks is going to be acceptable?
Yeah, so that was like my point is like, hey man, I know this isn't on purpose, but this is fucking exploitative at best. Because I mean, I've gotten free games to review, and I didn't get paid for the review, but I got the game, right?
Yeah.
And a review is a far cry from a fucking walkthrough.
Yeah.
So I sat there. I explained in the fucking comments that, hey, it takes, if a game takes 60 hours to beat like a new RPG or something, you're probably writing for 180 hours. 180 hours for a $60 game. You're even if you're not trying to be exploitative, guess what you're doing? You're being exploitative. Like at that point, your intent doesn't matter.
Also, I would say okay, I don't have like a high opinion of like the professionalism of your average GameFAQs author. Mostly because most of them couldn't actually hack it at a professional level when they were given the opportunity to do so. Just saying that's an objective fact of what happened. You're gonna trust these people to listen to embargoes and not reveal shit ahead of time, just random people.
And finish things, heck.
And finish things, like...
There was that Persona guide that one guy couldn't even finish. You're going to trust these people to finish things?
That wasn't professional. I didn't get a review code. So, but no, that's like... You've got shit you need to, like, agree to for those, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he was just floating the idea, but still, this is what, the third or fourth admin of GameFAQs at this point.
I mean, at least he's trying to have ideas, but I'll say this, like, the only way you can do this is you have to have, like, trusted authors. People that you know aren't gonna fucking leak shit. And at some point you might start thinking, well, this is like a different tier of author. Like, they're almost employees because they can actually damage my relationship with publishers and developers if I don't trust these people enough, if they're not professional enough. And that kind of sounds like the exact opposite of what GameFAQs has been trying to do as long as I've been aware of GameFAQs as a site. Like, not having favored authors, not trying to treat them as, because when you start treating somebody as a professional, like you give them some professional obligations, that usually comes with some side effects. Like, I don't know, maybe they want more compensation because you're expecting more out of them. And
well, just getting a game is nowhere near the start. I'll tell you that much.
No. And most of the time you're not getting a game that early. Would it help their traffic? Absolutely.
It's not any different than their old bounty system.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, things have gotten massively worse.
Well, I mean, the old bounty system, you would have to pay for the game yourself, right? Well, that was a review, anyways. But I mean, not the bounty system, but you know what I mean. Where you write a review for it was a guide. But it was like bare minimum.
Yeah, all you had to do is like have FAQ of the month, right?
No, that's different.
Oh.
No, these were like old bounties where you just literally had to do like a walkthrough.
Oh, where it was timed, right? They just posted it, and the first one to do it got the bounty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these were like $100, $200, if I remember correctly.
There were 60.
Oh, shit. I thought
bounties could be more than 60.
I thought,
well,
like...
they changed that, I guess.
Back then, they were pretty much all 50, 60. They covered the cost of the game.
I think the lowest bounty I took for any guide... Well, the only bounty I ever did on GameFAQs was Witcher 3, and I think that was $400 or $500. And I did that one in conjunction with Gamer Guide, so I got paid double for that. So that's pretty sweet. But yeah, like, no, doing a timed competitive bounty on a guide for $60, you're getting the most garbage quality guide anybody could possibly write. I'm going to tell you that ahead of time. And then there's no incentive for anybody else to do it later. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to fucking write, like, an actual good guide and not even get, like, compensated the value of the game? Like, I don't know. GameFAQs is so far back in terms of, like, what every other site is doing. It's not even remotely comparable.
Well, every other site is, what, 1 or 2 places?
Well, nowadays,
that I know of.
Now that Google hasn't killed everything, or has killed everything, yeah. I mean, who got the last laugh in the end? The fucking site that did absolutely no work and just existed because it was founded in 1996 or whatever the fuck. Turns out that's all Google wanted in the end, is name recognition. So, I don't know. That's some bullshit. See, capitalism. You never win based on hard work, quality, or effort. It's all just based on random intangibles of some rich fuck. That's why the system sucks. That's why everything sucks. Alright, but we got more 40K.
I'm depressed now.
Yeah. Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader developer Owlcat Games announced action RPG Warhammer 40K Dark Heresy for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PC, Steam, Epic Games Store, and GOG. The release date was not announced. I really don't want to touch this thing with a 10-foot fucking pole, but I'm probably going to end up...
So it's not Rogue Trader 2, it's...
Dark Heresy, whatever. Rogue Trader 2, essentially. I'm probably going to end up writing on it because someone's going to fucking pay me, but whatever. Then I'll be miserable. I'd rather do it for Neoseeker than for Gamer Guides because no one will be fucking breathing down my neck about finishing it quickly or... Whoa, let's look for SEO. No, I just want to suffer through this at my own pace. Okay. Like... Doing guides like that when you have to worry about stupid shit that aren't actually related to guide writing, it just makes it way worse. If you're wondering how I stomached sitting through Final Fantasy 15 that many times, that's how. What else we got here? Relic Entertainment has announced real-time strategy game remaster Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition. It will launch via Steam and GOG in 2025. The Definitive Edition includes all the Dawn of War and standalone expansion content, 4 classic Dawn of War campaigns, 9 armies, and over 200 maps, all in one game. The game will feature 4K support, upscale textures 4 times the originals, and image-based lighting for a higher level of fidelity while retaining the classic experience. I've seen Dawn of War before. I've never actually played it, so I mean, good for people who like this. I guess they're getting a polished version of an old game. People seem to like it. Not sure what armies they actually have, but... Publisher Sega and developers Sneaky Box and Relic Entertainment have announced third-person shooter remaster Warhammer 40k Space Marine Master Crafted Edition. Will launch for Xbox Series and PC via Steam, the Epic Games Scam, and Microsoft Store on June 10th for $40. It will also be available for rental on Game Ass. Jared O'Pine said it's weird it's not also coming to PlayStation 4, given the original was on PS3. It will. In about a year. It'll come to PlayStation 4. So. Or PlayStation 5, I should say. It will be a fun game to play when it's down to 20-ish bucks on PlayStation 5, eventually. Until then, The only real question is, which will become affordable first, Space Marine 2 or the Space Marine Remaster?
Space Marine 2.
I think so. But,
Which we still need to get to at some point.
We still need to get to it, yeah. I mean, I have it, but it's just, y'all don't want to pay the 40-some bucks that they want for it, which is fair. What other news we got? That's all the 40K news, so there's, some interesting stuff, some dreadful stuff. Some things I'm not really all that concerned about, like Dawn of War. The person who messaged earlier, we stream Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. Every Sunday night if we can do it. I know today is a Monday. It was storming out. The power is flickering. And, why start up a podcast if I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish it? So I just waited until tonight.
He was lazy. That's the answer.
I was lazy. I was too busy doing the things. So, yes, unless we are preempted by a storm or something, which, I don't know, Greg doesn't ever seem to have those issues, so I guess they have a working power grid over there. But here in Tennessee, if it is cloudy, then I have to watch out for my power situation. That's just the way it works. Although, actually, I was talking to my mom the other day. I don't know if I shared this story. What was I talking to her about?
Likely story.
I can't remember what I was talking to her about, but I called her. It was the 21st I called her, and she was like, I can't believe you remembered that today was our anniversary. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no, I knew that. I gotta take credit for it, because apparently the 21st is her and my dad's fucking anniversary. Who remembers that shit? Anyways,
well, that's why you called.
I can't.
You wouldn't have called otherwise.
I can't remember why I actually called. Fuck. She ended up telling me, she's like, did your power go out on Saturday? I'm like, no, it's fine here. She's like, oh, our power went. It was out all day. I'm like, okay, they live just down the road from us, 1.2 miles, down the road to the left. So, it's kind of funny that they didn't have power all day, and we were fine. So, that's just how things work here, I guess. And there's nothing big that happened. I mean, there was just your average, run-of-the-mill storm, but I guess it was enough to knock there. I think I was talking to her about her dog. She's got a 12-year-old golden retriever, and that dog is on its way out. I do not expect it to make it to the end of the year. I'd be surprised if it makes it.
Poor thing.
I'd be surprised if it makes it to August, honestly. There's all kinds of things wrong with it. They did some surgery on its leg to fix something. I can't remember what it is, and it caused a lingering problem where it was itchy or irritated the surgery spot, and he just kept biting it. So you had to keep a cone on her and keep her leg bandaged, and she's also got a tumor on her shoulder that's now the size of a football. I shit you not. It's sad. It's sad watching that dog try to continue to exist. I don't know. I think I'm at the point where if that dog was in my house, I would probably have it put to sleep, because I don't think there's much quality of life there. But it's easier to say when it's not your dog. I mean, I did raise that dog for the first few weeks, because we got it. We got that dog for my mom on Christmas. I want to say it was 2012 or something. We got it for her. And I would stay over there to watch the dog, and we would have to hide it from her when she was home. So they have a house, a little attachment to their garage, I should say. It's called my dad calls it the band house. He means butt-ass naked. Because he's going to walk from his main house to this house butt-ass naked. That's the story. That's why it's the band house. Anyways. It has a hot tub in it and whatever. They don't go in there all the time, so you can kind of keep the dog in there, and she wasn't really barking all over, so whatever. I hid it from my mom for a few weeks in there, and then, it was Christmas, and we have my mom, open a box for her present, and all that's in there is a collar, and then I go open the door so that dog can go from the band house to the main house, and she just runs right in there with perfect timing, picture perfect timing. My mom's looking up with the collar in her hand. This golden retriever puppy runs in. I'm like, oh my god, she nailed her cue. Perfect. The cue that wasn't decided on or settled, and she just, went into that. Whatever. It was a great moment. I helped raise this dog when she was a puppy and take care of it, but man, it's time. It's time. When the dog can barely get up and she's like emitting high-pierced barks because she's like, I don't know. There's all kinds of things I could say. I'm not happy with my parents' amount of attention that they spent on this dog. Is all I'm gonna say.
You're not there all the time. You're not there ever.
Well, no,
Why
but
would
it's not
you
my.
not be happy?
It's not my dog. They go on trips. They have a cabin in Wisconsin that they go to, and they go places with my sister and her kids, and they leave that dog, and I have to watch it, and it's like, no, this is the end of this dog's life. Like, you either need to be an adult enough to put it down, or you need to be willing to forego some of your vacations.
Anymore.
Well, yeah, because it can't get up.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
No, I don't want to sit there in their house while this thing like chirp barks because she doesn't have my parents around. That's what she really wants. Like, I can't be them, and I don't want her in my house because I can't get her up the porch stairs anymore. You know, it's a golden retriever. She's a big dog. It's like, well, she used to be like 100, but now she's only like 80 pounds. She's lost some weight.
This Melta gun, by the way, is Malta, whatever.
Melta.
Fucking fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, You are such a 40k noob. You are such a 40k noob.
I know it's good on armor, Jesus Christ.
It's called a Melta! It melts things! That's what it does! How does it look in that game? Because in Space Marine 2, it, like, the Melta shot, like, balls of energy?
It seems to fire out just like a plasma stream.
That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to shoot out a beam of energy that melts things on contact. So
yeah, I'd say that's what it's doing.
It's not a flamethrower, so it shouldn't be shooting out fire.
No, it's sending out like a plasma beam, like straight ahead. Yeah.
Now it's a little confusing because 40k does have plasma weapons, and they're not the same thing. But
yeah, it's got Volkite. What's the name of this thing? Volkite Caliber, and that seems like a laser weapon.
Yeah, they have lasers, they have plasma, they have meltas, they have all kinds of shit in 40k. But meltas are very useful in tabletop because they're good at killing things that are generally hard to kill. Yep. So, how far are you in fantasy life, Jared? We still got Jared. Did he beat it yet? Because we have to be getting near the end of this game by now. Let me keep reading the news here. Publisher Bonus Stage Publishing developer Rock Pocket Games will release side-scrolling Metroidvania game Somber Echoes for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series on July 8th, the company's announced. Why have I not heard of this? Side-scrolling Metroidvania. Here's an opinion. You shouldn't be able to call it
somebody really needs to say.
No, you shouldn't be able to call it a Metroidvania unless it has RPG elements in it. Because, like, the first Metroidvania was Symphony of the Night, right?
I mean, Super Metroid.
That wasn't a Metroidvania. That was just Metroid.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night then, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, by that respect, you could also say you shouldn't call it a Metroidvania unless you have to backtrack with items that open up paths.
I agree. I do agree.
That's what most people.
I do agree.
That and RPG mechanics, those two things.
I will agree to that. Yes. What, did you think I wasn't going to agree to that?
No, I'm just saying.
Buddy, if I don't have to unlock double jump to go back to a higher ledge that I see earlier on, then I have not been Metroidvania'd.
Very good.
Somebody has lied to me. I'm fighting I assume it's a late game boss in this Fantasy Life I.
What?
No, just level 60 stone golem. I'm in that the depths B3.
Or you're playing Fantasy Life as well?
Yeah, I assume I'm almost done with this game. They want me to write a review for it at Gamer Guides.
Oh, you're still working with them then.
Well, yeah. No, all they did is they don't have guides for us full time, so they want us to do projects on a weekly basis. So fuck this out of money is all that is. Out of salary for contract work. There's a reason I've been focusing on Doom instead.
Did you beat Doom?
No, why am I going to beat Doom? I still got to write up 19, 20, and 22.
I mean, you can beat it and write things up after you beat it.
Yeah, but then I have to avoid collectibles or go back and use my footage. No, it's just easier to write it up as I play through it.
Got a sec?
I need to do, what, media for Chapter 3 still? That's one of the ones you did? I'm pretty sure I have that recorded.
Is that the first mech one?
Yeah, that's the first Rock'em Sock'em.
I don't know if there's any collectibles in that.
No, there's not. That won't be too hard to do media for.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Doom version. Basically.
That's basically what that is, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like, I find those segments actually pretty fun because they're pretty easy. They're just breezy and fun. I don't know.
Yeah, easy breezy.
Publisher Xbox Game Studios and developer Ninja Theory will release Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 for PlayStation 5 this summer with exciting new features. The company's announced. The same new features will be available on the same date as a free update for the Xbox Series and PC versions of the game. I'm going to say this, you are out of your fucking mind.
That's the way to do it.
You are out of your fucking mind if you are paying full price for this old-ass Xbox. Like, call me when it's like $10 or less. Because it ain't worth a penny more than that. I don't remember the reviews for this game being too glowing either.
I mean, I'll play through it at some point for sure.
You want that platinum, that's all there is to it.
I wrote for the first one.
Did somebody else write for the second one on Neo Seeker?
Yeah, it wasn't me. Possible.
I mean, it was an Xbox game, so... Sony Interactive Entertainment will end the PlayStation Stars loyalty program on November 2nd, 2026, the company announced. The program will no longer accept new members starting today, and there will be no new campaigns from July 23rd. That is also the cutoff date for earning points. So I guess you have a month to earn points and a little over a year after that to redeem them.
Yeah, they seem to do this every half a decade or so.
Yeah, why don't
Start
you
up some sort of fucking loyalty program or stars or, whatever name, and just stop it and then they'll start up something again in like a year from now.
Yeah, like why? Why not just keep the same thing you've been doing? I don't know. I do remember I just cashed out a bunch of my stars points. I use that as discount to get Oblivion, so I can't be too pissy about it.
Yeah, I've definitely got some free games with this program.
So it's stupid that they're doing this dance again. I think they just like announcing these new programs and coasting off the initial hype and sign-ups, and then it's like, okay, but we're done with this now. It's not fun anymore.
Or it's costing them too much. One of the two.
I can't believe that. Because they keep doing it! Why would they just do the same thing over again?
Almost all their rewards are digital.
Oh, that reminds me. There's somebody... So this story was posted, I can't remember on like what Twitter account posted about it, and somebody said, so Sony's going to reimburse me for all those digital collectibles I got, and I remember commenting on it and said, sounds like somebody learned an important lesson about digital quote-unquote ownership.
How many times must you learn this lesson, old man?
It's just, why do you think you own anything digitally? Guys, come on. You don't own it if it's you don't own it. Right? You just need to cope with that. And if that gets you really angry, don't buy anything digitally anymore. I guarantee you, if people had, like, just the barest common amount of dignity you expect a person to have, as a consumer who values their own time and money and decided to stop buying digital shit, they'd stop making it. They still want to make you money, or make themselves money. They still want to sell you stuff. So they put it on a disc or a cartridge and then sell it to you. We have all the control here. Literally all of it. Every bit. And we're too fucking stupid. We can't get enough of these fucking mouth-drooling morons to fucking just have enough dignity not to buy this shit. It's embarrassing. It's frankly embarrassing. Alright. I mean, here I am playing Fantasy Life, and it has a garbage physical edition.
Digital only?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting paid off it, though, so I don't give a shit. There's a physical version, but it's like a different region, and I can't remember which region has it physical, but yeah, it's not ideal. It's not good. But I don't have time to wait for an import to get here so I can start playing it, so. Speaking of Fantasy Life, total sales for Slow Life RPG Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, have surpassed 500,000 units within its first 2 days of release, publisher Level 5, and developer Level 5 Osaka announced. Level 5 recently announced plans to release free downloadable content called Update with the World, which will introduce additional content to help players enjoy the game longer. This is already a pretty robust game. Honestly, Greg, when this game is cheap, you should probably buy it. It's a nice little chill game where you can do farming and beat up enemies. It's not... It's not
like
that...
Rune Factory?
I've never played Rune Factory. I don't know, but it's not terribly different from like those Story of Seasons games that I've played, except it has more emphasis on like switching lives to do things, which are basically just your class, and you're a little bit more focused on combat and exploration than in some of those games. So, it's a nice, fun, chill game.
Jared, how would you compare that to Rune Factory?
I never played a Rune Factory.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I never did either, which is why I can't compare it. I will say that I don't like the art style, but...
Of what?
Of Fantasy Life, but I have a character I make for these games who's diminutive little character, so whatever, it works out.
Let me just say that. Well, obviously, there's idle time. We all sit idle at maybe 5, 7, 8 hours, maybe idle time.
A day?
No. I mean, total.
Sure.
But, I started playing last Sunday. And I have... My PS5 says I have 61 hours.
I mean, yeah, no, there's been
That's quite a bit.
Are you at the end of the game? Did you beat it already?
Yeah, I could beat it anytime I wanted to.
Okay. Well, how far am I? I'm in the depths B3.
There's a thing right after where you have to gather a bunch of stuff. That's like pretty close to the end.
I figured it would be. Am I on chapter 7 yet?
Yeah, chapter 7 is the final chapter.
Okay, I'm not on 7 yet. I've already decided the tagline for this is just going to be the word chill. Like, it's a chill little fun game where you can cut down trees and mine things and...
You wouldn't do something like live in the fantasy?
No. Chill is the perfect word for it.
I like living the fantasy.
I'm not playing into their stupid tagline, calling everything a life.
Into their tagline, or you're dead to me?
Don't worry, they'll change it if they wanted to.
I am dead to you then. Or maybe I'm just not that unsubtle of a reviewer.
There's a right way and a wrong way, and you've chosen the wrong way.
Mr. 1000 reviews. How many average views on all those reviews?
No, I'm probably at 830 or something. I'm nowhere near 1,000
You count up all your reviews, and then you divide that by the number of hits you have on all of them, and I want to see how many reviews.
Too much work.
Yeah, okay.
Too much work.
What are we averaging? About 200 hits per review?
Probably. Skyrim's my biggest one. It's got like 12,000 or so.
What'd you give Skyrim?
Fucking 10. What do you think I gave Skyrim?
A 10?
Absolutely.
For Skyrim?
Love that game.
Skyrim's pretty good. Yeah,
This was Skyrim when it first came out, too. The worst version, I'm sure.
No, it's not. I didn't dislike Skyrim that
Release Skyrim has to be the worst version of Skyrim. How could it not be?
Well, okay, I do like the Legendary Edition because then you can just infinitely level, and you know how I am. So what materials do you need after this dungeon? Is it just a bunch of materials that you can find in this dungeon?
They're key items.
Oh, so it's like, okay, fetch quest. Or find the thing quest, whatever. Alright. So I'm like, I'm seeing some of this stuff that I need to craft like legendary gear, and I'm like, what else could they be throwing at me? I'm kind of assuming there are not too many recipes and stuff still to unlock. Yeah, I have to be near the end of this. I don't know. I don't know if I'll platinum it. I should. It probably wouldn't be that much work. But
you do have to get hero rank on every life.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I want to play this fishing minigame that many times, honestly.
Oh god, I love fishing. Show me the fishing minigame.
I don't really have the gear for it right now.
Don't mind the fishing minigame. I hate this crafting minigame where you have to rotate the right analog stick.
Oh, well, that's just because it throws you off, because there's only like 2 crafting lives that actually do that. It's like cooking and alchemy that do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leveling up Alchemist right now.
Oh, I'm pretty good at that minigame. Does that surprise you? Like, unless I just have a mind blank, which happens sometimes, but I can usually get through that crafting minigame pretty well.
Oh, this cultist got a rocket in my face. God damn it.
I mean, I'm up to expert right now, so...
Okay.
It really helps to do all these crafting mini games like near the end of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you just have so many resources. Well, I reached a point where it was like, alright, it's taking me too long to mine some things. So I need better gear. So I had to figure out how to get all my life tools leveled up, you know? And I did that pretty satisfactorily before I shut everything down on Sunday, I think. What's your highest crafting skill at? I mean, like with your buddies helping you and everything.
I think like 1265.
12? Okay, I thought it was gonna be higher than that. Because I think my smithing is at like around 1500, maybe it's 1460.
Yeah, you have there's legendary recipes in Gendarmosia.
Yeah, I got a few of those.
Yeah, and then there's I crafted the bow time because I'm a hunter.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm sure you're shocked.
Jared using a bow in a game? No.
So, and then there's a true version of it that you can get a recipe, and that requires like 1312 or 1325.
Yeah, but that's how much it wants you to have in order to just craft it. Like, is there a higher rank version of it too?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because usually your crafting skill has to exceed the recommended to get a good crafting result out of it.
I mean, you have the bonus skills that you can use that automatically finish stuff.
Yeah.
I support you all the way.
I don't know, it's a cute little fun game, Greg. What else we got here? Shootin' Order, a newly announced multi-genre adventure game from Danganronpa creator Kazutaka Kodaka will launch for Switch via Nintendo Switch eShop and PC via Steam on September 5th. Publisher Spike Chunsoft and DMM Games, and developers Tokyo Games and Nilo. See, they couldn't fool me this time. I was ready for them. Fuckers. You're Tokyo. Announced pre-orders will open on May 22nd. I mean, I'm just 5 routes to go down with each of them being a different genre. Kind of sounds like that one game that Greg likes. What's it? Live Alive? Live Alive?
Live Alive. Yeah, but it's all strategy. Like, it's all grid-based.
Oh, it just takes you to different, like, settings.
Yeah, the settings change.
Okay. Well, this apparently changes the genre of the game, so... So what do I actually need to level up this life? Ancient crystals, okay. Magma dragonstone. And an ancient emerald. Giant ribcage fossil, giant leg bone. I found a lot of these, so I'm just going to assume that I can just keep breaking the legendary mining things in this place and keep getting them. That's my assumption, anyways. One of the things that this game does, like okay, they kind of lie to you and pretend that, like, each life in this game is like a viable class you can play through to the end. At least that's the impression I got, but they really want you to switch them all the time. Like, you're not picking a chef at the beginning of the game and beating the game as a chef. Like, you're gonna have to do combat, you're gonna have to do other things. Chefing your way through it is not gonna suffice.
You don't play as a chef.
Yeah. But they do try to make up for it a little bit. Like, if you pick a crafting life, they have, like, boss trees that you can cut down. And
boss trees?
Yeah, they have a little crown on them. All the like, trees and stuff are leveled up, too.
And it plays boss music.
It plays, like, yeah, boss music with choir and shit.
But,
You're just
by the way,
walking around this tree, chopping it down.
Do you know who the composer of this game is?
I know one of them.
Nobuo Uematsu.
Yeah. I saw his... Okay, when you master a life, which is not the final rank, but it's the next to final rank.
It's so fucking great.
They do a little cutscene where you go to, like, a tavern and everyone sings a song about how awesome you are at being whatever life you just mastered. And it's like a 2-minute song, and it just says, like, composed by Nobuo Uematsu, and I'm like, really?
Every time?
Every time. It says who does the lyrics and says who composed. Yeah.
Life.
No, it's a different song for every life. Yep. So, and it's cute the first time, and then after, like, your third or fourth one, you're like, do you really need to do this for everyone? Like, come up with different lyrics about, like, why being a miner is so great. I know one profession that would disagree with you, by the way. It's actual miners. But it's kind of cute. It's such a stupid little game. That's all the news we got. So I guess next it is time to finish off our chatter about AI the Somnium Files, right?
Our chatter.
Oh, where did we end this off? Green Route, day 4?
You could pay me, I wouldn't be able to keep track.
Let me go look. No, it wasn't. Okay, we were on Pink Route, day 5 is...
Ooh, Pink Route. That's, we're getting near the end, apparently.
So we got 2 Pink Route days and a Green Route day, I think. Okay, so this is a good time for Jared to hop off if he wants to not be spoiled on any of this stuff. Rebecca, I mean, whatever. She's made the dumb decision that she'd rather sit in this room and talk to me than actually finish AI the Somnium Files, which, I mean, I can't vouch for that. So where do you get a giant ribcage fossil at? Huh. I got a giant skull fossil. Maybe I've just been unlucky. Yeah, because okay, it's just unlucky. I just got to mine this thing more times, that's all. Okay, alright.
Does it have RN Jesus? Is he...
On the drops, yeah. So,
not
no,
your friend right now.
There's like special skills that you can use when you're mining, like you can use different charge attacks that do different things, and basically all the, like, harvesting mini games work very similarly that I've seen. You just gotta like rotate around the thing you're trying to mine or chop down and search for the sweet spot, and then use special abilities and skills to take it down by targeting the sweet spot. Oh, that's not the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. There we go. Alright. So the pink route diverges from blue route. Is that your fantasy sports shit?
No idea.
Oh. Pink route diverges from blue route on day 4 during the Iris sync when you're playing the Shovel Forge Somnium.
Yeah, which is basically Minecraft.
And if you go down the blue route and you continue Date's streak of being the worst detective ever, he decides to believe Iris's conspiracy theory about this Nice cult and the 50-meter whatever fucking satellite and all this other nonsense that this teenage girl believes. And you indulge her fantasies, and I think Blue Route ends with you like trying to save her life by syncing with her. Do you know that she has a... No, I don't think you know that at that point. Whatever.
No, you do not.
Suffice to say, you don't save Iris in the blue route by syncing with her because it's a goddamn dream reading machine.
Yeah, it turns out she's crazy.
Turns out...
And you should know that she's crazy, and you should believe in the fact that you know that she's crazy.
Turns out that if you're going to save somebody from an inevitable death, you need some Nixie tubes involved, right? You can't just do that with some high-tech sync machine. So after on the pink route, you decide to be a little bit less stupid, just a bit less stupid, and you solve the Shovel Forge Somnium by, I guess, just banishing her delusion. You don't buy her bullshit. You don't buy Iris's bullshit about this conspiracy and all that. And so, after the sync, you're in Matsushita Diner. Date doesn't believe in Iris's night story, so she pouts and leaves. Probably shouldn't let her. Whatever the truth, people are still after her. That's just my opining. Like, if she's crazy or sane, we still did get jumped by mercenaries, right? Like,
yeah, that wasn't fake.
Yeah,
that's not a conspiracy.
Now you could confuse it for being fake because what kind of henchmen are going to be so stupid that they get tricked twice by Date fucking throwing like a bra and panties in their general vicinity? Some world class.
It's hard to argue with that.
Some world class stupid goons there. Date thinks Renju might be after Iris, asked Oda to hide her at Matsushita Diner, but wouldn't Renju know about Iris and Oda? That's just me opining. Like, he's got to know about them, right? Like, obviously he knows about Iris, but he doesn't know about Oda and that she might be there? Like, I don't know. I found that a little... Really? You think this is a good spot to hide her? Like, better than your car? I don't know. There didn't seem to be a lot of good options, but he picked a bad one. Maybe he just doesn't have any other options. Mizuki also shows up to protect Iris. Oda's willing to take a knife for Iris and Mizuki. And Mizuki can actually fight, so fair enough. Turns out not fair enough in the long run, but whatever. We'll get there. Then you go to the Sagan residence. Hitomi reveals that Iris has a malignant brain tumor, which would mean that all the drama at the end of Day 6 Blue Route was Date chasing the fever dream of Iris's dying brain. God, Date fucking sucks on that route. I just had to opine on that. It's true, he's so bad. He's so bad. Like, I'm pretty sure one of the worst things you can do as a detective, and not working in the United States, I should be clear, is, hear somebody with brain damage and go, oh shit, maybe the Illuminati really is after her. I better go on this fucking wild boondoggle to try to fucking so stupid. So he's bad at his job, alright? We can agree. While talking to Hitomi about the specifics, but before you get to learn about a potential cure, Mizuki calls to tell Date that Iris has left to be with the person she quote-unquote trusts the most. Okay, I was like, never mind. You bounce ideas off Aiba during a drive to guess that Iris is with Renju and that they might be at the cold storage warehouse. At the cold storage warehouse, you find Iris's frozen body in the forklift. Her eye was removed. That still stays the same. Time transitions to morning. You're still at the warehouse. I don't know why they did a time transition, but they did. Date fainted after finding Iris, but this time her corpse didn't vanish. Aiba speaks some questions, spurred Date into thinking again. The warehouse, though not in use, was kept at negative 58 degrees. Iris's body was completely frozen, and at 105 pounds, I would have taken far too long. Then I'm asking myself, are there two Irises? I'm not thinking what's actually the case. I'm thinking, does she have a twin? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I just want to point this out. Do you know how much it would fucking cost to keep a fucking factory at negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit for
20...
about 20 years. 18.
About 20 years.
It would, we're probably talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in electric bills. Like,
this is nothing to him.
I guess. I was legit confused by this. I was like, okay, so this is a thing. Date x-rays Iris's corpse. Whomever this Iris was recently pregnant before death, but the fetus was missing. Who was killed after giving birth? Date finally confirms that the corpse isn't Iris. Aiba said the corpse was killed 10 plus years ago. One minor thing,
looks exactly like Iris.
I mean, that can happen. I'm not gonna complain about that, but I will say this. The type of preservation you get from freezing somebody is not as pristine as they wanted to portray it here. The process of freezing does damage to a body, and that damage over the course of years would become pretty apparent. I know it's anime art, so they're not necessarily going to draw all the details, but after 10 years, I don't think you'd be like, oh wow, this is a freshly frozen 18-year-old. You'd be like, this bitch been an icicle for a while. Like, she's not recently frozen. Plus, she's been moved around, and I don't know if you've ever moved frozen meat, but it has a tendency to stick to things, especially if whatever. There's complications. Anyways, so here I am just going, who fucking moved it onto the table when Date found it? How'd they move it back and hide it? How did the police not find it? This corpse was So's victim from 10 years ago. Why'd he keep it? Sentimental reasons. Where's the baby? We go to interrogate So about Renju and Iris. At the Sejima residence, Date makes accusations but gets no answers before bodyguards kick him out. On the car ride afterwards, Aiba feeds Date...
really fond of that, by the way.
Yeah, like, hey, buddy, remember this thing that didn't work last 3 times? Well, now I'm gonna make it work this time. Please leave. Fuck, foiled again. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen? The guy's gonna be like, okay. I can only refuse a police officer 3 times.
Gosh, if only you weren't so persistent.
I can only say no so many times a week. Damn it! He knew my only weakness.
Isn't that the thing from Austin Powers, that henchman that can't stand being asked the same question 3 times in a row?
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who plays that? Will Ferrell plays that one.
Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, my brain isn't completely pudding yet. It's still got some time in it. You know, it's in better shape than that Frozen bitch, right?
Yeah. You have some respect. That was a human being.
Well, you know what? She spent more time as an icicle than a fucking human being. So what was she really? Was she a human being, or was she always just an icicle waiting to happen?
Pretty sure she's a human being.
Philosophical question with only one true answer.
Pretty sure you're just a monster.
This might be true. On the car ride afterwards, Aiba feeds Date more info, and then I just stop, interrupt myself mid-sentence, and just go, they get into a stupid Rocky skit if you guess Adrian twice. I assume you did that.
I can't remember that, but
that was so stupid. That was so stupid. Yeah, they just... Adrian! It was really dumb, random, out of left field. You just
Is this on the pink route?
This is on the pink route, day 4.
Okay, I didn't I write the pink stuff? Surely I put that in there.
No, I think... Oh, maybe you did write pink. I can't remember.
Or did I do the green? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I'll find out soon. Sooner or later, I should say. It was really... You guys just discovered a corpse that's not the person you thought it was. It's a recently pregnant 20-year-old icicle, and you're
making jokes.
Whatever. I mean,
well, you just listened to yourself, didn't you?
I'm not a detective. I didn't just find a corpse. No, never mind. I'd make stupid jokes too. It's a coping mechanism, but Rebecca. Don't you shake your fist at me. Ukumi Shrine. Date questions Mizuki about quote-unquote Alice. Yes, they decided to name the course Alice because all ice. They're worse than I would be. I'll say that. Like, I was legit bad. What quests do I need to level up woodcutter?
Yeah, plus they use that same joke. You know what? I remember that. I did write that part, because they used that same joke in 999.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is there a frozen corpse in that game, too?
Spoilers.
This guy just likes frozen corpses, doesn't he?
No, they used the Alice name.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you assume that there's a frozen corpse in that one as well.
Well, I guessed right, didn't I?
No.
Yeah, all ice, so they name it Alice, so... Okay. It's bad. It's a bad pun. That's a bad pun, and if he did it twice, that's extra bad. He's bad and should feel bad.
So nice, he did it twice.
She followed Renju to the cold storage warehouse about a month ago. Right, he's talking... I said he questions Mizuki about it. No, this is Mizuki, right. I was thinking Hitomi for some reason. No, he questions Mizuki first, that's right. She followed Renju to the cold storage warehouse about a month ago, where she saw him looking at Alice's corpse. And just a reminder, Alice is the frozen bitch at the warehouse, so... She didn't rat Renju out because she's stupid and didn't want homicidal daddy to get in trouble.
Well, she never wants dad to get in trouble. What a good daughter, by the way.
Is he really is he worth it as a dad?
What a good daughter.
Your children should rat you out every time you break, like, a fucking tax code.
Which is never.
They should be like, hey, did you remember to file that video game you purchased? I don't know if that was a work-related expense. Your kids are delinquents. They're sabotaging this country. Pentagon needs its $1 trillion, Greg, and you're not helping.
Yeah.
Contrary,
way less than I am, I'll tell you that.
Contrary to Iva's opinions on the matter, Renju did manage the warehouse back in the day. See, that's kind of just a deflection, right? Like, you're presented with one bit of evidence, and it's like, we were wrong the whole time. We lied to you. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, how are you supposed to guess that if the game's lying to you about it? A little bit of salt, maybe, but whatever. Is what it is.
It's not a mystery if you just lie.
Well, if you just change the facts of the case, then yeah, I guess. I don't even know if I want to fight these. Anyways, Renju's been managing the warehouse for 18 years, around the time Iris was born. See, I can look at the in-game journal and figure this stuff out. The corpse in the warehouse could be Iris's mom. Look at that! I figured out a whole 30 seconds for the game just tells you this. Iba IDs the corpse by doing a missing person search. Manaka Owai, she was 19 at the time she went missing, which would make her around the same age as Renju Hitomi Shoko. Look at that journal age-looking stuff again. I'm so good at this investigative shit. Certainly not any worse than Date in this game. And she went to the same school as Renju/Hitomi. Look at that!
Yeah, somebody who can look up basic facts can probably solve this. But
well, you know,
to be fair, you also had to find a corpse, so
it's not Date. That's for damn sure. Date has a flashback to Hitomi talking about losing a friend named Manaka Owai. Maybe they should have searched the name back then. Then you go to Abyss HQ, and you are interrogating and syncing with Hitomi. First one, then the latter. She's not broken up about Iris' corpse because it's not Iris, it's Manaki. She also mentioned losing Manaki 18 years ago, which Date conflates with Hitomi knowing she was murdered. But going missing for that long still counts? Like, if somebody went missing for 18 years, I think I would still refer to it as losing them. So
you've grieved. You've gone through the entire grieving process. It's 18 years.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to immediately assume that means, like, missing, like, that they're dead, right? I don't know. That you know about their murder, I should say. Like, somebody leaving for 18 years doesn't necessarily mean
what's his name
murder.
probably told her, right?
Maybe.
Renju.
Anyways, Date thinks with Hitomi. He really wants to get brain damage from this for some reason. So he's like, no, as long as it takes. Bro, that's not smart. It's not the smart play. Like, what are you doing here? Can't you just sync with somebody twice? Is there a rule on that? Do they ever talk about that?
That's a fantastic point. Like, why wouldn't you?
They never mention it, do they, now that I think about it?
Yeah, like, why can't you just, have little sessions?
Yeah, like, I didn't get everything that time, but I'm coming back, and this time I know you're bullshit. Alright. Apparently, syncing too long, can cause participants to switch bodies. They have a egg yolk and egg white metaphor with this.
You say that like it isn't one of the big reveals.
Well, it's not at this point, and it's not in this route. Until later in this route, I guess. But it's a bigger point in Green Route. Sounds like the sync machine is more useful in that application than as a mind-reading machine. Surprisingly, This is the only immediate takeaway I make during this. Which is kind of embarrassing in hindsight, but this is my takeaway. That the sync machine is actually a better body switching machine than a mind reading machine. But this sync is a dark garden somnium. You stumble around, pray to inanimate objects. This one was kind of annoying, but save scumming really helped.
Yeah, praying to inanimate objects was weird.
I guess it's just a more Japanese-y thing than I'm used to. Okay, big revelation time. Oh, God, deep breath for this shit. So this is what you learned during the sync.
AKA massive spoilers time.
Massive spoilers. This is your time to go and actually play the game yourself. If not, you only have yourself to blame. All right, I'm giving you time. Still giving you time. Yeah, enough time. A 40-plus-year-old So Sejima knocked up an 18-year-old.
Oh, Jared just left.
Good time. An 18-year-old Manaka. Manaka was murdered by Saito Sejima, So's legitimate son, by his ex-wife.
Yeah, So didn't murder her, but he wanted
he
her
knocked up
to
an 18-year-old.
leave, and he offered to pay for everything, and he didn't want her to have the baby. She wanted the baby. Conflict ensues.
On a scale of, well, it was kind of a minor conflict. Like, I don't think So
he didn't seem that torn up.
He was like, well, that kind of sucks, but as long as she doesn't ruin my political career, I don't really care that much.
And she never planned to.
Yeah, so they didn't have like any major disagreements about. It could have been worse. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10,
she still liked him.
On a creepy scale of 1 to 10, how creepy is it for So in his 40s to knock up an 18-year-old?
I mean, that's got to be at least an 8, right?
I'm just gauging.
Wait, he's not married, is he?
No, but he had an ex-wife, and he has a...
I'm gonna knock it down a peg.
I'm gonna say, yeah, at least a 7, but a lot of that has to do with him having a 12-year-old son. Like, fucking an 18-year-old when you have a kid that's about to be a teenager. And of course, okay, I can count ages.
It could be worse. He could be a kid that is a teenager.
True. But this is where my ability to pay attention to ages came in handy. I fucking 12-year-old Saito Sejima, I was like, oh my god, fucking Date is fucking So's son. Because that would make this Saito 30 years old, which is Date's age.
No, Date's older.
No, Date's 30. And yes, you're right, he's older. But he's also 30. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Saito was 12 at the time of the murder.
You saw those ages and you immediately went there.
I immediately went to Date is Saito.
Date is So's son.
So's son, yes.
Yeah.
And turns out I was kind of right. Kind of.
You were all sorts of wrong.
I was also all sorts of wrong. I was right in half the ways that mattered and wrong in all the ways that mattered a little bit more. But this is what happens when you can count ages but don't go, body switch machine. I wonder if that was ever used for that application. Saito was 12 at the time of the murder, which would make him 30 now, Date's age. And it was at this point when I messaged Greg, I was like, Date better not be So's son. He's like, don't spoil it for yourself.
I remember that message. And thinking to myself, excellent.
So contacted the Kumakaras to get, or Kumakaras, I'm gonna say this right, goddammit. To get rid of the body, Rohan was in charge, presumably removed the eye as part of his fetish. Later I put in parentheses, confirmed. Renju gave Manaka a GPS tracker, and I will say this part really bugged me about this game, not because it was like anything wrong. It was actually
those GPS trackers keep popping up too, don't they?
Only twice, I think.
Which is still Date gave Iris one, right? No. If I had a nickel for every time they popped up, I wouldn't be a rich man, but it's crazy that it's happened more than once.
Yeah, well, the Kumakura guy, Moma, gave Iris one, right? In one of the other routes, and then Renju gave Manaka one on this route. So, yeah, it happened twice in this game. And I was sitting there thinking, like, oh my god, this 18-year-old was old enough after she graduated high school for, like, little GPS chips to actually be a thing one of her classmates could give her. And also, for somebody else to give to her daughter. And that just, for some reason, blew my mind and made me realize, man, I'm fucking old. I'm old, Greg. Like, a GPS chip was something that existed when I was in high school. Like, Man.
Yeah.
There's people who've lived their entire lives with this fucking technology. Anyways. Renju gave Manaka a GPS tracker before she met with So. When her body was disposed of, they followed the tracker to find her buried in the mountains. They tell us a little bit out of order, so yes, it goes from she met with So and her body's being buried in the mountains. They fill it in a little bit shortly. Renju convinces Hitomi after the corpse is dug up not to contact the police. He knows the Kumakuras and what they'll do to shut up snitches. Renju finds out
from his previous work.
Well, previous and presumably ongoing work. Yeah. Renju finds out who kills Manaka and tells Hitomi Japan has no statute of limitations on murder, but Hitomi never snitched because she didn't want to lose Iris or Iris to find out about her parents. Iris may be able to be cured by nanomachines, but the procedure is unaffordable for Hitomi, so she tried to blackmail So. Hitomi put the body on the table in the warehouse, which Date later found while pursuing So. She records So finding the body, but her blackmail message warned So not to tell Saito. With Saito, in parentheses I put Date, even be in contact with So by this point might be a mistake on Hitomi's part. It turns out that doesn't really come up, but I was sitting there thinking, would So even be in communication with Saito at this point? Because he doesn't really mention it, so I don't. Turns out I don't think So was in contact with Saito at this point, so it probably would have been a little weird for Hitomi to use that as like a threat, right?
Yeah, but you know.
But she didn't know. She didn't know. And to be fair, we still don't. And here's more opining. Couldn't So have just gotten rid of the body? How did one-armed Hitomi move a 105-pound corpsicle? Pretty sure a corpse that's been frozen for 18 years doesn't look terribly pristine. That's a real point, though. The 40-year-old lady with one arm moving a 105-pound corpse. I don't know. Like, she didn't have a barrel to put the corpse in and roll it around this time. So I don't think that excuse works. I don't know. I just don't know how she's moving. I don't know how she's moving a corpse with one arm.
Very carefully.
Very slowly. Hitomi was contacted earlier and informed by the kidnapper that they have Iris. The kidnapper wants Hitomi to go to a location with Date. Pewter interrupts, points a gun at Date. We're still in the sync chamber or interrogation chamber at this point. Incapacitates boss, tells Date higher-ups put a stop to the Manaka investigation. Date speculates that So is responsible. Might be true, but not for the reasons he thinks it is. Date beats his nerd ass and shoves him in a locker. Good job, Date.
Finally does something right.
Right? The one route where he actually gets a win over Pewter, I guess. Abandoned factory. Date goes to the mystery location, the abandoned factory, not the warehouse, with Hitomi. This is also, I think, where you go with Iris on day 6 blue route. Some ass rat, probably Pewter, is trying to delete Aiba 4 hours to solve this case. Date finds a sync machine in the warehouse with a dead-ass looking Renju hooked up to it. Date gets tased by 89, and day 6 pink route is locked, but day 5 green route unlocks. Alright. Ibis HQ, boss's office. Boss has... So we're switching to green route right now, right?
Yeah, you have
Remember what happened at the end of green route? Boss was, like... Date searched bosses...
Killing somebody.
Killing Sosajima. Date searches her computer and finds that video there. I will say this, with hindsight. Why did she record that video? Like, what was the purpose of that video being on that computer?
Well, we know why later.
Do we? No, I don't think we do.
Yeah, he really likes showing things off.
I guess. Is that the real answer? Because I honestly don't remember. Okay, because there's no, like, other reason I can think of for that video to be on that laptop. But then you're just also assuming that someone's going to look at Boss's personal stuff. So, I don't know.
Well,
I think
when they can't find her, and you know they're not going to find her.
True. I guess it's just too convenient. Like Date looks there right as he's getting suspicious about Boss, but I guess somebody would have looked at that computer eventually and seen it. So that makes That's
yeah, I think so too.
I guess it just wasn't intended for Date to see it at that specific point in time, but for somebody to see it eventually, certainly. Okay, that makes sense. I'll go with that. Is this it?
What do you mean, is this it?
Oh, okay. So Green Route is not very long because it's all an exposition dump, and that's fine because this is kind of what you want at the end of the story.
Well, it's also kind of the worst case story ending.
Yeah. All right, this is where shit really gets wild. I still think I like Pink Route better because it goes into the backstory of everyone more. But this was pretty wild stuff too. So, Boss has no alibi for any of the murders. Iba tracks Boss's GPS and finds out that she's at the Sagan residence. So you go there because for some reason Date has a little boner for Hitomi that doesn't make sense yet. We'll get there. Iba calls Boss's phone. Date finds it, gets confronted by riot police and Boss, who put Date under arrest for murder. Iba tricks Date into porn-fueled competence, uses a bag of flour as a catalyst for an explosion that takes out Boss and her goons.
Porn-fueled competence.
Yeah.
That defines Dante to a T.
Yeah, it does. I will say this, again, another minor nitpick. Powder explosions are real. I think it takes more than a bag of flour to create a powder explosion of the scale the game wants it to. A silo of fucking, like, wheat will definitely blow up surprisingly fucking well. Like, I didn't know this was a thing until, like, 10 years ago. YouTube is a wonderful tool if you use it correctly. I saw a video about it, and it's like, really? Just, like, wheat can explode? Just the dust of it? Like, not just, like, start a fire and smolder and burn, like, but legit fucking just combust violently.
Yeah, sure.
Did not know that.
I knew that from growing up on a farm because they have the same thing happen with hay.
I think it can happen with like sawdust too, can't it? Maybe not like really fine
but
sawdust.
Like way more.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm sure it takes more than like.
Look at AI teaching people things.
Well, this didn't teach me that.
What a great game.
And to be fair, it's going to take more than like a 3-pound bag of flour to create an explosion that's going to do anything.
Yeah, probably, but quit ruining it.
I don't think it can combust at 3 pounds. I think at that concentration, this is not going to. And even if it does, it's probably more like flash paper than a fucking explosion. Anyways. So after taking out an entire SWAT team and Boss by throwing a bag of flour at her and shooting it, you take her to Abyss HQ. She's apparently got some wounds, like a broken leg and a broken shoulder, but you know what? She's
broken
fine.
Rib.
Date wants to sync with Boss. Her somnium is the chemical plant in Kawasaki, which reveals everything as you solve it.
The one that blew up.
Okay, this is going to get confusing. Because this is where the game... Remember that Denzel Washington movie where there's like a demon that can change what body it's in by touching people? I can't remember the name of it. Fallen is the movie.
No.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Nope.
Oh, it's a super good movie. You gotta fucking see it. Seriously.
I think it's free on YouTube.
Is it free on YouTube?
I might go watch it.
It's really good. It's basically the plot of Green Route, and it's got not John Candy in it. What's his name? John Goodman. The other fat John that is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a fantastic movie.
All right, bye.
Okay, see you later. I'll keep talking this so we get this done with today. But Greg's hopping off. Okay.
I'll stay.
So this is going to get confusing because there are now people in other people's bodies. So hopefully I remember...
Thanks to the fucking rogue machine.
Yeah. The sync
which,
machine
we
that...
didn't really know about until recently.
Well, you knew about it at the end of Blue Route. See, you learned about...
I did Blue Route right, but I finished Blue Route right before Green Route, so...
Okay, well, you learned about
It's still recent.
You learned about the sync machine, the rogue sync machine at the end of Blue Route, and then you learned about body switching in Pink Route Day 4, Day 5, I can't remember. And then this is where it puts all that nasty shit together. Boss Saito monologues in the interrogation room. Basically, Saito has been copying the movie Fallen using the sync machine to swap bodies and murder people.
And then after murdering, he'll just swap again.
Yep. And he never...
So he's been doing a chain of fucking murders.
And never goes back to his old body to do it. Yep. So...
Amazing.
The one thing that it took a few moments for me to just, like, get stuck in my head is... There's, like... He's talking to you as Boss. Boss is already dead. He's just in Boss's body. There's no going back.
Boss was just in So's body.
So every time you saw somebody die, that wasn't them anymore.
Right.
So everyone has been death shifted by 1 degree in this story. So when you see like Boss shoot So, like Greg said, it's actually Saito shooting Boss in So's body. Anyways, it makes sense. So's Boss and So Tsujima knew each other. Something happened 6 years ago. Apparently, Saito made a show of the killings to punish Date. Some personal beef between Saito and Date. The eyes of victims were removed because it was necessary to perform a sync. The prototype machine Saito has been using is pretty crude compared to the one in Abyss. Saito just ate the victim's eyes afterwards, which is why you were finding those eyes in other people's bodies.
Yeah, in their stomachs.
In their stomachs. It was a different eye that Rohan fucker was doing it for his own little fucking freaky, messed up head fetish.
Yeah, that's why it was the other side.
Yeah, it was kind of a false lead for this Cyclops killing.
It was kind of a red herring, but on like the way they made it make sense was perfectly natural.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that red herring. Date's body is Saito. Not sure who the new personality in Date is. At this time, you're not. Saito wants his old body back. Date has the same psychopathy that Saito had. The medicine Aiba keeps mentioning corrects Date's latent psychopathy. Number 89...
Which he still has, and all those jokes about early on in the game, about the dosage not being right and how you need more medication. It sounded like she was just making fun of you for being weird or pervy, but no. She was serious.
She was like, maybe he's being crazy again. Yeah. I think this salient point would have been a little bit better if the dosage change actually happened. Like, if she actually did make Date go in for a higher dosage at some point, it might have had a better connection. It wouldn't really make you think about it too much at that point. But whatever. Doesn't have to be perfect. Number 89 is actually Rohan. Body swapped. Saito was a parasite in Rohan's mind, was in a mental hospital. Rohan Saito escaped and swapped bodies with Shoko 1 year ago. Rohan Shoko is the one who fell off the roof and died. Date is number 89/Falco. Why did number 89/Rohan/Saito switch bodies? What happened to the original 89? These are all just questions I'm asking myself at this point. Boss Saito uses Hitomi as bait to trick Date into switching bodies. Hitomi is rigged to explosives. Saito keeps his word, but Hitomi blows up anyways. He provided the location as promised, but didn't leave enough time for Hitomi to be rescued. Should go into this more because a lot of this was explained in a bit more detail during the sync with Boss Saito. She shows...
He never meant to give Date, quote-unquote Date,
Yeah.
Hitomi back.
No. That was one of the major points of contention. So, Saito is a psychopath, right?
Yeah, without question.
They explain it as, like, not able to feel happiness unless he's killing. And I guess Manaka was just at the wrong place at the wrong time and happened to meet with So at around the time 12-year-old Saito just popped off and decided to just stab a bitch. Yeah. That's what he did. Just stabbed a bitch. Ran up,
he wanted to work his way up to humans. He had already been killing animals and shit.
Yep, that's typical serial killer vibes there. So has always been a schemy, evil piece of shit. So he worked with the Kumakuras. I think they might explain this another route, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point. The Kumakuras, Saito had the idea to sabotage the chemical plant so that So could do that whole land scam. He was a piece of shit evil criminal too. He's not a murderer, maybe. I don't know. Something tells me that you're not hiring the Kumakuras to only do fucking cleanup work, but that's all speculation. For this point in time, he didn't kill anybody identifiable in this case. So didn't. And then they did the land scam that made So even richer. Saito was protected by his dad because I guess political connections are super important there, and you can even keep somebody off the cuff for murder. Of course, they bury the body. Renju and Hitomi dig Manaka up later and clean her up and freeze her and put her in the factory. I don't really know why. Like, okay, Hitomi and Renju, that's seriously fucking creepy, okay? Like, my first instinct if somebody close to me died wouldn't be, I'm going to stick them in a freezer and I guess use their body as like a token of remembering them by. I don't know, that's creepy. That always will be creepy. There's nothing about that's not creepy. My opinion.
Yeah.
And eventually...
Like, at least give them a proper burial somewhere then, no?
Yeah, right?
Jesus Christ.
Keeping her in the fucking engine compartment of a forklift in a fish factory, I wouldn't call that a dignified end, okay?
Yeah, well, what's the game plan after that?
Nobody ever finds out. That's the game plan. No, that's it. That's the only game plan they could possibly have had. Right? What else could it have been?
I mean, I got nothing. That's exactly what they were doing.
I don't know what happens to Saito. I don't think he keeps murdering, at least not for a while, because the old Cyclops killer case was 6 years ago, so that's presumably when it started up, so I guess Saito went like another 12 years without 12 years,
quote-unquote happy.
I guess so. But eventually, Rohan gets that brain... oh, shit. That might be a connection I didn't make before I'm playing it. Didn't Rohan get, like, hit in the face with a head... get hit in the head with a baseball bat, like... I think his brother said, like, 10 years ago or something?
Yeah, that's why he took that eye.
So that's when Rohan would have went nuts. And that's probably not too long after the time when he started to go with Saito on killing sprees, right? Because he wanted eyes. He didn't kill people personally. He didn't have that fetish. Rohan didn't.
Well, he did, just not in this scenario.
He wasn't the one killing.
He did in his work.
He did in his work, but he wasn't killing people for.
Killing people is still killing people, Nathan.
Killing people is work. Killing people is work. It's not pleasure or fun. Taking their eyeball out, that is pleasure and fun for Rohan.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Eventually, I guess Rohan and Saito realized they're kind of kindred spirits, and they're kind of after things that doesn't bother the other one to let the other have. Like, Saito wants to actually do the killing, and Rohan just wants to pluck the eyeball out afterwards. Who loses? Who loses? So they are the two killers that you see in, I think, Green Route Day 3 or 4, whenever you're doing the sync with Iris, when you take the dark route. And of course, you get that dark route because you're not actually syncing with Iris at that time. You are syncing with Saito in Iris's body after she just... Literally, Date had the whole sting about Iris correct. I was surprised by that. She drugged Renju, she put his unconscious body in a barrel.
Oh yeah, he got the barrel thing right.
Yep, rolled him into a car, fucking drove Renju's car to Sunfish Pocket, and then strung his ass up after ligaturing him to death with a cloth. So, Iris's body technically did kill Renju, but it was Saito in it at the time. Iris was, of course, in Renju's body and was the one that Saito killed in that instance, but whatever. So when you were syncing with Iris's body, it was Saito's mind, and that's why you were able to see that fucked up stuff that didn't really look like something Iris should have in her subconscious. Because she didn't. Anyways, watch the movie Fallen. That's basically this route. This is just about as clever. A little bit different. You're dealing with a serial killer who's switching bodies instead of whatever's in Fallen.
A demon, you said. You spoiled it.
Yeah,
you
a
gave
demon.
it all away.
A demon, yeah. Aiba shocks Date Saito. This is after they switch bodies. You get a bad ending monologue. This is a gripe I have for this part here. So the game makes you do the bad ending, right? And that's fine because
yes, before the good ending.
In a lot of visual novels, they make you do the bad ending first. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But, like, it's usually as a precondition for unlocking the good ending. But here it's usually. Like, they usually don't make you switch back and forth. Like, go 80% of the way to the end of the true ending route and then finish up the bad ending route and then switch back to the good ending. That's not what they usually do. They usually make you do like the whole playthrough, get the bad ending, and then you have a new dialogue option in the next playthrough that allows you to get the good ending. So this is a little bit weird. They treat this as a bad ending, like, well, you gone, done, and fucked up, but you really don't have an option.
Because at the end, there's also some stuff in there. For the record, there's some stuff in there that's a little like he's on the floor at one point thinking to himself, wasn't there another path?
Couldn't I have done better? No, you literally couldn't have. If you wanted to do better, you had to... Yeah.
It's almost like he's trying to realize that there's a different way for things to go, is what they're teasing at.
But the thing is, you know that. Green Route Day 5 locked. Oh, well, I guess I gotta do Green Route Day 5. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little too...
On the nose?
It's a little too constrained. It's a little too constrained by just the structure of the game for it to work the way that this usually works. That's all I'm saying. But it's telling a good story, so, you know, if they just wouldn't have painted it as the, oh, you did bad, you should have investigated harder ending, then I'd have been fine with it. And that's it pretty much for Green Route. You find out that Date, as you know him, is actually Saito's body. He's just been medicated, and I guess he's missing his eye because he went into the sync machine way back in the day.
So that's why they say that it couldn't be the same killer?
Yeah.
She was so convinced it couldn't be.
Well...
And as far as she knew, it couldn't be.
Yeah.
I'll support you all the way.
But who... But Boss would have known about the ability to body swap, right?
I would assume so.
Well, anyways, there are some things that they don't reveal here. Like, I don't think at this stage you find out how everyone ended up switching bodies or why they ended up switching bodies.
Not
like,
yet.
You still don't really know why Date and Saito ended up switching bodies and why Rohan was really involved in it at all. So... yeah, but right. So he forces you to switch bodies, and you're in Boss's body at the end there, which is why you really can't do anything as Saito is being a smug asshole and is like, well, I guess I'm going to get away and go do my thing now, and that's when Iba shocks him because...
And then you're in trouble.
Well, I mean,
and you've got injuries.
You've got those wounds from your encounter with Boss Saito, so now you're fucked up. But Iba shocks Ate shocks Saito because she's still in his eye socket and knocks him out. So it's inconclusive how that actually would have ended. Something tells me that I guess Dante's best play in this ending is to just pretend he actually is Boss.
Yeah,
and
I would imagine.
Just live out the rest of your life in a 40-year-old woman's body. I mean, at least she's got some nice boobs, so
yeah,
right?
He'd be pretty okay with all that.
He'd have fun for a little while. And hey, you don't have to worry about psychopathy, so it's a little bit better. I mean, you age 10 years, but female life expectancy is higher anyways. It's not quite 10 years. It's about, 2? But,
yeah, guys do more dumb shit.
But hey, you don't know what the side effects of that fucking psychopathy medicine is, so... You know what, let's just call it even. And given Dante's, personality, he's probably got more opportunities than Boston's body. Let's just be real.
Alright. There's a whole world of lesbianism out there for him to explore now.
Or not even lesbianism, you can get away with more stupid shit as a chick. You just can. The one thing I will agree with incels about, it's not an even playing field. You're right. You're right to be agreed by that. Chicks can make dumber jokes than guys can and get away with it, because, they can be more choosy. That's just the way it is. Sorry if you don't like that. Alright, Day 6 Pink Route. Let's finish this up. What do you say, Greg?
Yes.
Dante!
That means I can play Nirvana Initiative, right?
I mean, if you want to. I'm not playing it until I'm finished with the guide for Somnium Files.
Hey, you're close.
If you say so. Anyways, Dante is in the sync machine. That's, remember, Falco / 89, whatever, knocked him out after he went to the warehouse and found Renju's lifeless body in the sync machine. This is where Day 6 Pink Route picks up. Dante's in the sync machine. Iba can't help because Dante's pastime of getting tased has left Iba communicative but not mobile. He does get tased a fair amount in this game. Okay, only twice, but but you know what? Again, your nickel analogy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
In this route, Saito is in number 89's body and has been in Renju's body previously. Presumably, he killed Shoko like normal before the car accident derailed things. That's me guessing. That isn't that great of a deduction, because I think it's pretty obvious, but that turns out to be true. He conspired with Pewter, who thought Saito was still Renju, to break number 89 out of jail, who should actually be Rohan? No, was I right about that? But then who was Shoko? Anyways, whatever. Let's keep pressing on. Game also teases you, the player, with info you know from other routes, but which Dante from this route shouldn't know, transferring bodies via sync or the prototype manual from the blue route. If you didn't remember that, Greg, remember you can search the shelves in the second sync room and find a manual for its usage and be like, wait, how do I know that's a manual for this sync machine?
Yeah, they like teasing that. This writer, developer, his name escapes my mind, but he likes doing things like that in his other games too.
I don't think it actually goes anywhere though, so.
Not really.
I guess it does keep you thinking, well, maybe there is an alternate world line thing, so I don't know, maybe. Is that crazy?
Not with him.
You can ask Saito for the day-to-day going-ons, like in Green Route. Renju Saito got into an accident when he was going to pick up Iris, derailed his plan to body swap with Iris, made him weak. After convincing Pewter to help number 89 / Rohan escape, Renju Saito then swapped bodies with him. Renju Rohan is now dead. All right, no, that did explain that. Okay, I just didn't remember. All right. As a convincing pewter to help 89/Rohan escape. Oh no, I already read that. What am I doing? Saito hired the mercenaries to attack Date/abduct Iris. Kind of risky. What if Date was killed? That does seem kind of dumb. Like you're just gonna hire guys to get in a shootout with your old body.
The body he desperately wants back.
Don't kill it. Don't kill it.
Yeah, you better not kill it.
Yeah, that seems a little. I don't know, but he is a psychopath, but he's not in a psychopath's brain. So, why is he still a psychopath if he's not actually suffering from a psychopathy?
I mean, he's a psychopath without having to suffer from the only feeling happiness from one
can
thing.
Get happiness from other sources. Shouldn't he just be high on life now?
Oh.
No, really.
Did he explain that he missed it?
I guess, but you removed his underpinnings for the actual psychopathy, so why is he still going through all the murder stuff to get revenge? And I don't know.
He missed it.
I don't know. That seems a little sus to me now that I think about it. He should have been like, oh wow, like I can actually just jerk off and have fun now instead of having to go through all the effort of killing people. This is way better. Like, sure, murder was fun and all, but again, jerk off. Just pull down my pants and whip it out anytime I want. Like, this is way easier.
Ooh, endorphins.
And you know what? I'm a lot less likely to get arrested for it. Just don't go full Pee Wee Herman with this shit. I'm fine. Rest in peace. Anyways. Falco/Saito syncs with Date. The Somnium is the sync room at Abyss. Normal rules don't apply here. Fuck with shit. You lose either 0 seconds or 60 seconds. Pretty scripted. You are submerged in blood at the end. Number 89.
You've got to keep those good timies in that one.
Do you?
Yeah, if you want the secret data at the end, you do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know how it works.
Yeah, they swap bodies at the end. Saito gets what he wants. Saito teases Falco before Falco passes out from the depressants, which I didn't mention, but this old this prototype sync machine gives the subject of the sync depressants and the sinker boosters, uppers, whatever after the sync. So every time Saito did one of these body swaps, he had the advantage because the other person was literally fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's a little unfair, but hey, he's a serial killer, and he primarily played on women who are physically weaker.
It's not supposed to be fair.
Yeah, he's not here for sport, right? He just wants the trophies. Actually, he doesn't even want the trophies. He lets someone else take those. He just wants the fun. He just loves the game, man. He's just in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate the guy that loves the game.
You don't, in fact, have to appreciate it.
No, you have to.
Okay, where was I? Oh, and when you pass out as Falco, you remember things. Falco met Hitomi at the shrine after a botched job, became a father figure to Iris, wanted to get serious with Hitomi, tried to quit being an assassin. Rohan gave him one more job, kill Hitomi and Iris. Falco told boss...
Did we ever learn the reason for that?
No, we didn't. I assume...
it's not like So was... Did he find out somehow?
I assume there's two things. Well, no. I was going to say Saito maybe wanted to take petty revenge, but he wouldn't have had a grudge against any of them at this point. Maybe it was just Rohan being a dick going, okay, you can get out if you want, but your reasons for getting out are going to be the fucking price you pay.
Did he even know about them, though? I
just assume that if you're a mob boss, you probably know who your underlings are playing house with. Just my assumption. They don't explicitly say that.
What an asshole.
Falco told Boss they entered the police force at the same time, and Boss suggested swapping bodies with Rohan, which he did. That's where all the whole Boss is my old friend stuff comes from, that Date has been saying.
They got Rohan in that hook, line, and sinker.
That seems... something police shouldn't be doing. Just, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they shouldn't be assassins on their off time either.
True. But, like, I'm sitting, okay. The underpining for a lot of the stuff that happens with Falco is, well, it would be embarrassing to the police force. Okay. How many times are you going to shit yourself before you realize, okay, that's enough shit running down my legs? Like, at some point it's easier to just come clean that I shit myself and get in the shower than it is to keep shitting myself and blaming the dog. You know? Like, I don't understand
perhaps.
this. That's just me, I guess, but that's pretty much the excuse they use for all these moves is, well, if you revealed that you were a cop who just decided, you know what, the bad guys aren't actually getting in trouble enough, so I'm just going to start murdering people. Oops, I'm a mobster hitman now. That'd be embarrassing for us.
Which is what he did.
Which is what he did. That'd be embarrassing for us at the police department here. And we really, shucks golly gee, hate being embarrassed, so, hey,
well,
just,
they really do, too, like, more than American cops.
Just switch bodies. It's fine. No, American cops will just fucking, like, they'll just shoot somebody in the face and be like, no, it didn't happen. He was threatening me.
He had a gun. They produce a gun.
Yeah, so, fucking... You know what? No, I'm actually a little bit proud of the subtlety that the Japanese police... At least they have some... At least, you know, they don't have any actual dignity, because if they had any actual dignity, they wouldn't be like, alright, the real problem isn't you being a hitman. The real problem is us getting found out, so switch bodies. But at least they acknowledge that finding that out would be bad. American cops are just like, no, fuck you didn't see me do it. Also, shut up or I'll hitman your ass. So, no, there's a little bit of dignity in having shame, even if it's not the same dignity you'd get from having actual morality in the first place. But I digress. Falco Rohan went to Hitomi's, which is how she got shot. Rohan Falco actually shot her. Not Falco Rohan. I don't know if you can follow this, but
not Falco Rohan Falco.
The main character you've been playing the whole game is now in Rohan's body. But the problem is, okay, I don't know why
he did not tell her that in a way.
Oh
that
no,
made her...
I skipped a line. That's why this doesn't make as much sense as it could. Okay. So, doing the body swap sync with Rohan revealed that Saito was a Cyclops killer because the cops are stupid. They just let Falco Rohan walk out of the body. See, it's body swapping, not body stealing.
Yeah. So, like, once Rohan realized that he was in... This is insane. Once he realized that he was in a different body, he apparently knew right away that they were onto him and just asked a police officer nearby if he could leave, and they just let him go.
Well, he's in a detective's body now. And of course this is hush-hush, so the boss can't tell anyone but herself and Pewter are the only ones who know about this, so...
Yeah, well, it also means that getting out of that machine, like, unlike the other machine where the subject is all dizzy and...
Yeah.
You know, the person who's on the other side has time. No, they're just ready to go right away, maybe even faster.
You're fine. Yeah, so, no, this is just... What's a beat cop supposed to do?
Not the best design, Pewter.
What's a beat cop... Can't you just keep them in restraints until a third party lets them both out?
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be a happy medium? I don't know.
Well, anything's gotta be better than letting them beat you out of the fucking room.
Yeah. And they don't even have an excuse. Like, what were they doing? Just standing there going, oh, there goes Falco, that crazy guy. I wonder if he has to pee. That's really... Date's not alone in being a bad detective. They're all kind of bad in this police force. Okay, Rohan Falco then went to get information about the killings from Saito. He gets some info, but Saito sniffs out Falco, has info beaten out of him, and then pays a goon to steal the sync machine prototype. Keep in mind that Falco is still in the body of Rohan at this point, and Rohan is in the body of Falco. Saito swaps bodies with Rohan Falco. Why? They don't explain why he does this. Maybe he just wanted to feel what it was like being in a different body. I can get that.
Also,
That'd be kind of cool.
to try it out.
Yeah. It's a high price to try it out because you got to rip out your fucking eye. And like,
which he does with like such nonchalance.
Yeah, it's like, aren't you going back there? Don't you want both eyes? Like, you're just getting rid of that eye totally on a fucking vibe. Like, this will be a fun day trip in this other body. Do you know if you can do switchies backsies at a later date? Or is it like that?
Backsies, yeah.
Or is it like that Futurama episode where everyone needs to switch into a new body in the interim? Like, he doesn't know any of this stuff. And like, the game makes a point in other routes saying, it's possible to remove your eye from the socket without permanently damaging it, as long as the optic nerve isn't damaged. But Saito didn't hear that story. He's like, well, it's out. Like, there's no, like, setting it off slightly to the side. Like, I don't know, you don't follow wrestling, but there was a match where Vader got one of his eyes punched out of his sockets. And it wasn't all the way out, but it was bulging, man. It's fucking gross. And he plops it back in, and then he continues. It's like, oh no, I'd be done wrestling. I don't mean for the day, I mean forever. Like, I'd be one of those NBA players with a plastic fucking visor over my face for the rest of my fucking life, and my eye got knocked out of my socket. But no, not Saito. He's like, out, gone. I don't want to see this thing anymore. That's old news. Yeah. Having depth perception
could
for the
give
birds.
2 fucks. He's like, you know what he's like? He's like that Key and Peele sketch where the gangster refuses to take a seat.
I've never heard of that.
And, like, man, you're not gonna be less manly if you sit down. It's okay to sit down. Fuck sitting. Sitting is for pussies. He leans on the table and just gets shanked. He's like, Roberto, you're bleeding, man. Come on, you need to go to the fuck hospitals. I'm fine.
I mean,
that was him. He's just like, fuck this eye.
He complains about not having his body anymore, but bro, you did more damage to that thing than anybody else did. Like, fucking Dante's returning that body to you in okay shape. Maybe a few prostitutes, below the belt, but, what you gonna do? At least you...
As one does.
At least all your appendages fucking came back intact. One might be a little runny, but you know what? You can just go to the fucking doctor, get that little gentleman's drip all cleaned up. Date lost his memories because his mind was overwhelmed by Saito's, and the sync was forcibly ended. Only Falco's consciousness was transferred, not his memories. That's how Date came to be. Falco's consciousness sans memories in Saito's body. Why did Saito... This is where I am questioning this. Why did Saito want to swap bodies with Raw and Falco anyway?
Him because they were friends. I mean, she's the one that thought up the whole Rohan thing to begin
also,
with.
because okay. I didn't think about this before, but how responsible is Boss for literally everything that happened here?
She's the cause of quite a few things.
And her motive is basically, well, I don't want to look bad. And they promote her! They promote her! Holy shit. I don't think the Tokyo Boys in Blue are all their best, She literally goes from, well, I don't want anyone to find out that Falco is being a mob hitman. Well, I don't want anyone to find out that I had my mob hitman swap bodies with a fucking mobster.
It wasn't
mob
her.
Boss.
It wasn't her protecting a hitman. She just learned about it.
I guess. Whatever.
She didn't know beforehand.
Well, yeah, but her first instinct was...
Until he came, and her first thought was...
Let's cover this shit up.
I'll swap his body.
Yeah, it's just like, sweeping up a mess with your broom. No complications ever at all for any reason. This all just works out fine. Anyways. Boss meets Date wandering about, takes him to Abyss, makes him a cop again, and I am questioning here, so Tsujima pulled strings to make it happen. I don't think So is losing track of his son for 6 years.
Didn't he find him at one point?
I can't remember. I might comment on that later. Date gets Aiba 1 year after all this happens.
Yeah, but it was like a relief to So at that point, I think.
He was like, all right, well, my son was a nutter.
Yeah, and he knew it.
Well, like, what do you do? Well, the body's still there, but it's not your son anymore. I don't know. Philosophical question I'm not here to answer.
The answer is you don't do much.
I guess.
If anything, Boss did him a favor.
Well, yeah. And hey, you know what? He already took advantage of the little brat's fucking big money-making scheme, so... What's he got to gain by crying over spilled milk at this point? Saito is thwarted when Moma, of all people, drops in and exchanges gunfire with him. Saito's about to go off and do his little "I'm going to execute everyone you love" thing, blah blah blah. Because now that he's got Falco back in Falco's body and Saito's back in Saito's body, which was Date, as we knew it, he's ready to kill everyone Falco loved to get revenge on him, and get revenge on him for what exactly I'm not sure, because, bro, you strapped yourself in that machine. That was you. Like, it's not Falco's fault that the sync thing got fucked up and you went insane and got thrown in a loony bin in Rohan's body. That's you. You put yourself in that situation. But he is a, serial killer, so maybe I shouldn't question his motives too much. And I guess, we'll keep on. Aiba contacted Moma and he overheard Saito's monologue. Turns out that Aiba contacted a lot of people and she overheard Saito's monologue. Falco catches up to Saito, who has Iris tied up and is threatening to shoot her. Mizuki interferes, thrashes Saito with her pipe before she gets shot in the leg. This leaves Saito open and Falco and Saito fisticuffs, ending with Saito being uppercut through the factory DBZ style. Like, he literally uppercuts him into the corner of the factory from, like, the center. It was kind of stupid, but it was kind of fun, too. Aiba apparently called Ota, and he learned all the secrets / backstory, too. That's a loose end. Hey, please, weren't you worried about, like, all this shit getting out?
Yeah. Not anymore, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Oda knows it, everyone knows it, right?
Yeah.
You chase Saito to the control room where he has Hitomi tied up. Lucky for him, he didn't have Hitomi and Iris in the same spot, which is, what I would probably have done if I was trying to, kill them both around the same time. I don't know if I'd be walking around with Date from one part of the factory to another just so he can, Falco, to see as all his loved ones get killed in different spots, but what do I know? This is why I'm not a serial killer, right? You can't make the shot with Moma's rifle, so Falco throws it away. Also, remember, you're still being affected by depressants and shit, so you're not 100%. Even if you were 100%, you just had your eye removed, and you've got a fucking bolt-action rifle. You're under depressants. You've got one eye. Taking the shot is not a good idea here.
You can, that was one of the things I was writing up, and there's an encyclopedia word if you try to take the shot 6 times in a row.
Is there? Okay.
The game won't let you, but it will add 2 new words to the appendix.
Okay. I'm just explaining why you can't try to shoot this guy.
Oh, it's good. It's a good reason, I guess.
Because the game explains it, so I'm being fair, right? So Falco throws the rifle away as Saito commands. Saito predictably reneges, and Aiba self-destructs in Saito's head. This is what that self-destruct code earlier in the game was for. It blows his fucking head off! Like, Gonzo! Saito has no fucking head. I will take a little diversion to say, they showed Saito's body in that 3rd trailer for the Somnium Files. I don't know what's canon anymore because that fucker ain't got a fucking head anymore at the end of the first game.
Yeah.
So, I have no idea. Hitomi calls Date Falco, who says his name is Kaname Date. Apparently Falco is going with the Date name. After 6 years, I guess he likes it more. Fresh start, but he's back in his old body and has his memories back, and hey, he saved Hitomi and Iris. He was kind of dating Hitomi back in the past before all this went tits up, and Iris viewed him as a father figure, so that's a little weird, some of the things that Date said about Iris earlier in the game, but...
Well, you know, as one does.
You're more uncle than daddy, so is what it is. And
Uncle, what are you doing?
I was a little surprised that Iris ended up being this important to the story. I'll say that. I knew she was kind of important because I didn't play this until after I saw the trailer for the third game, and she's in that trailer, so I know canonically she survives.
Yeah.
But then again, canonically, Falco is in a different body in the third game, so I guess they didn't want to spoil that. I have no earthly idea. I can't tell you.
Because I've seen the cover art to Nirvana Initiative, and it sure looks like Date.
I guess we will find out. Oh, there's no holding you back, is there? So Greg will be playing the Somnium Files, or Nirvana Initiative, very soon.
Yeah, we got to get through it before the third game because
absolutely.
Because we've got an agreement to write the third game for Neoseeker, and they are letting us write and post the first game, but they have a guide for the second, and there's no way Howard's gonna pay for a second one. So.
No, there's no reason. No. Are they going to pay us better?
We wouldn't expect them to.
No, they need to pay us better for the third game, though. $100 for
the third game.
Yeah, that's a little cheap. I want to at least okay. I need to do more than cover my cost of the game.
Yeah. Well, for the third game, I'm sure we will get more.
Okay.
For the first one, we gave them a fucking hell of a deal, in my opinion.
That's fine.
That was also before you were laid off, fired, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. No, I'll say fired. I lost the salary position, so I'm fired from that. I mean, what's the matter? It's just fucking synonym anyways. It sounds harsher than it should sound harsh, because it's just a fact. It's what it is. It's not patty cakes. Granted, I've been under contract with them for all but 1 week since, so... Not contract.
Yeah,
no contract.
That's like nothing happened territory right there.
No, except I'm getting paid a lot less. That's what happened. That's what that was.
Oh,
now they don't have to pay me during downtime, and they don't pay me as much during uptime either. So it's a net negative. But you know what? That's why I'm not going to feel too bad about focusing on Doom. So, all right. So this is that's pretty much kind of the end, but there's a lot of stuff that happens afterwards. There's a whole epilogue where you're kind of just going around and touching base with everybody. There's still some things to wrap up.
I like that a lot. Proper epilogue, see what everybody's doing at the end.
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice. It's a nice little ending touch. And then, well, that's the other thing you didn't mention, that Iba was... I'm going! Okay.
I'm going! We're not done yet!
Okay.
So the epilogue begins at the shrine 3 months after the events of the main game have ended. Iris and Falco are at the shrine. Iris is cured of her tumor because Boss paid for it. And by Boss, they mean the government, because Iris and the rest of the gang know all the details of the sync machine, Falco, Saito, etc., and the nanosurgery was basically hush money. Lots of traveling around, meeting with all the important NPCs to see what everybody's been up to over the last 3 years. I did not see Iris becoming a daughter figure to Date at the end of this game.
I didn't really see that either, but
that caught me out of left field. I'm not saying it's bad. I liked it. Boss and Iris are dumb. Boss hits Date with knockout gas. He wakes up in the sync room. Pewter was fired and arrested 3 months ago for working with Renju Saito. But he's here now, along with Inspector Ka whatever, who is Pewter's keeper. The guy you keep fucking misnaming on purpose because you're a dick. Pewter's ambiguous about Boss favoring Date and leaves. And that's really all you get out of this at this time, so... Oh, who do we have now? Sajima resident, So isn't a politician anymore. Contemplating fleeing the country. The Kawasaki plant explosion was Saito's idea. Falco Rohan called Sosajima and called him to call Shoko. He didn't really like Saito that much anyways. He so kind of gets off in the end because he's rich and he's just like, yeah, my political career's over. I guess I'll just retire and live the rest of my life in absolute luxury. And it's like,
yeah, didn't he mention some island or something?
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, go fuck yourself, you prick. The Sagan residents, Date still like sniffing shoes. They even comment on this. I'm sorry, like, there's never an age at which that is okay or cool. That's fucking creepy, always and forever. Iris tries to bully him into staying with Hitomi. Date feels guilty for the shooting still. Lemniscate, Mizuki is giving Date the silent treatment, so Iris has to be the middle woman. Date adopted Mizuki officially, so I guess Iris and Mizuki are sisters now. And also, Mizuki's parents are both dead, so, she's not spoiled for options here. Mizuki owns Lemniscate now, and I don't know how Japanese law works, okay? But I played Persona 3, so I'm kind of aware that if these games have any truth to them when it comes to these matters, there's a little bit of a feudal aspect when it comes to company ownership, in as much as if the leader, like the CEO dies, his son is expected to run the company after him. I don't think that's the case in America in a lot of cases. Like,
no,
they're kind of just shareholders. They don't run the company. They just own a lot of stock in it, and that's not always the same thing. But I guess Mizuki owns Lemniscate now and whatever else of Renju's holdings that she got. But Date adopted her, but that doesn't make him, like... I guess that wouldn't give him any claim to any of that stuff, which just seems weird to me. A 12-year-old shouldn't be making any business decisions in, like, where I'm from. Like, where I'm coming from. That just seems weird. Like, there should be somebody in the company doing that, or some executor of the state, or... I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know how this legally works, where Date adopts Mizuki, and Mizuki owns Renju's companies, and these things are all completely separate from each other. I don't know how that works. Date still hits on the boobceptionist. They're arguing over breakfast. Date likes ruining eggs before eating them. Mizuki cooks things properly. This is the source of their dispute and the subsequent silent treatment. By the way, if you like your eggs to, like, brown or dry up, you're a freak, you're a monster, you're an animal. You should not be able to eat that chicken yolk. Okay? Especially if the eggs are, like, scrambled, they should still be a little moist. They should have a little glisten to them. If you're cooking them until they tap out, you're just, I don't know what's wrong with you. Iris mediates and says Date is wrong. Iris is right. Date has to promise to take Mizuki out for that ramen he promised earlier, which he still hasn't made good on.
Way early
in the story. It's been 3 months! Sunfish Pocket. Ota has 2 jobs, both dead end. Still trying to be a writer, otherwise not much has changed. Matsushita Diner. Mayumi still has dementia, but her medicine lets her live in happy delusions. She doesn't hate Iris anymore, though, so that's good, I guess. Kamakura office. The skinny one is a mob doctor who's getting married to the nurse that's overseeing Mayumi, which kind of weird. They're all A-set freaks now. Moma asks for a Puff Puff from Iris. Nice Dragon Quest reference. Like most modern Puff Puffs, this one isn't what was expected. He gets the motorboat. The fat Yakuza guy. Marble, one of So's bodyguards, quit and is drinking here. Mama tells us the official narrative about what happened. Renju killed Shoko. 89 killed Renju and then committed suicide. Not much of interest happens here. Harbor Warehouse District. Aiba is back. Data fragments spread over servers were restored by Wadjet, so I guess she was able to be reconstructed by AI piecemeal. Good for her. Pewter made the switch.
This is the big reveal.
Yeah, Pewter made the switch when Boss knock Date out at Abyss, I should say. And the whole game ends with a dance number on the pier, so everyone is happy.
What do you think about that dance number?
It was kind of awful.
That just came out of the fucking blue.
It was kind of awful, but I wouldn't really end the game any other way. Like, it was a thing, that's for sure. I thought this was a...
Afterwards, I was like, well, that just happened. And then I went and found it on YouTube and showed it to Lisa because I had to.
What did she think?
Japan.
That's
it.
She buys Funko Pops. What's her opinion matter anyway? So Lisa's seen the end of this game, but not Rebecca. That's something.
That is true.
I really like this game. I've got questions for what is going to happen in the next one. I don't know.
Right, you keep talking. I need to take a potty break. I'll be right back.
I kind of hope they don't find a way to bring Saito's body back. Maybe Date just looks like Saito in the Somnium for some reason going forward. I don't know. Although he always acts on things through Aiba anyway, so I don't know. They've got to find a reason for why Saito's body is being featured as the protagonist in all these games. And honestly, I don't think Falco's that marketable. He's just a guy with black hair, black spiky hair, and permanent resting bitch face. Like, Date is way more marketable as a character design, but then maybe you should have blown his fucking head off at the end of the game. I don't know. So, I guess we'll see. I'll play the Nirvana initiative sometime. But, I'm kind of wondering if I should open up that collector's edition and look at things or not. I'll ask Greg when he's back, but I don't know. I thought this was a really good visual novel. It's not Steins Gate. It's not quite that good. It doesn't tie up things as neatly or satisfactorily, but it does a pretty good job. It'll take you places. I find the graphics relatively pleasing. It's got that nice cel-shaded anime look that a lot of companies are capable of producing now. So, story good, characters great, graphics fine. I think it's a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 is what I would give it as far as a visual novel goes. I literally got done with the first day of Pink Route, and I couldn't stop playing it. Like, I was able to put it down every chapter before that, but the last day of Pink Route, I was like, oh no, this shit's getting good. I gotta keep going. So it's been a while since I sat around and just binged a visual novel. I think, like, Doki Doki Literature Club was the last one, but, if it's something that can get me to binge a visual novel, it's probably worth recommending, so I recommend it. I've just spent this whole last hour of this stream running around and collecting resources for these 2 jobs, but I don't really regret it. I need my resources. I should probably have gone after that tree more. And that is AI the Somnium Files. Greg and I will have a guide up for it on Neo Seeker. That will begin in earnest more when I'm done with Doom. Priorities, getting paid more for Doom, so that's got to come first. But this should help get you the platinum, and I can't promise what Greg did in the routes he wrote up, but I don't intend to be very spoilerific in my routes. I should go chop down that tree, I think. I've been running between the mining spots, so I think I need some of that endgame lumber more. And then I think I'll get to the end of this dungeon and switch to Doom. I think I'll write up chapter 19 and maybe do the media for 3. And then we'll have everything done up until 8. I guess I can go back to wussy mode and play through it really quick. Yeah, I might do that too. Because I'll feel a lot better about doing campaign stuff if I at least get to the part where I left off and stop doing media.
Cast aside your doubts.
Alright.
Cast aside your doubts.
Alright. I forgot I posted that.
Cast aside your doubts.
Is there a source to correctly ID and place these unique pauldrons for my intercessors? Why do they look golden? That's a bit weird. Alright. While Greg is gone, I think I'm going to do a little bit of doom scrolling here. Stare into the abyss that is Twitter. Hey, Greg's back.
Yeah. So I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I think I'll give it an 8.5 or a 9.
Now, you can only do whole numbers.
I'll give it a 9. I'll bump it up to a 9. Yeah. I like the characters a lot, and that's kind of the most important part of the visual novel.
Well, that in the story.
That in the story, but, you know, if you have good characters, it's kind of hard to tell a bad story. No, I liked it. It's not Steins
Is
Gate.
Is it better than Steins Gate?
No. Steins Gate is...
Is it the second best visual novel you've ever played?
It's either that or Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, this is better than Doki Doki.
Maybe. I mean, Doki Doki went places. I'll say this. Doki Doki's got a much better soundtrack. Then again, I think Doki Doki has the best soundtrack of all
some
of
of
these
the songs in AI aren't bad.
I can't remember a single one of them. Like none of them earwigged me, but I can tell you what did. Come on, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah. That is like just the master crafted subversion of expectations in musical form is what that is. Like, it is the most joyous, cutesy fucking theme song they could have concocted for that game. And I managed to play it without getting spoiled, so I was like, oh, this is going places. I mean, I wasn't completely unspoiled because my wife's a psychologist, so... I'm playing this game, right? I'm on my old computer, and I've got it hooked up to the TV, and I'm playing it on the monitor and the TV at the same time. Rebecca's watching it, and she's like, you know, this girl keeps saying that she's constantly tired, and that's a sign of depression. I'm like, thanks, fucking Freud. I really need to know your fucking analysis of this shit. Then the bitch hangs herself, and Rebecca's like, yeah, I told you she was depressed. It's like, okay, fine, take your one fucking win in 20 years.
I take your one win. Jesus.
I mean, she doesn't get an opportunity to flex much on the psychology front, but she called that one. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, she sure did.
So she was not surprised by it at all. She was like, yep, well, that's what I told you. So, hey, either it's really obvious or she's a good psychologist. I'll let you be the judge. But she sure as fuck ain't paid like a good psychologist.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a goddamn shame.
I will say this about fucking Bolt Gun. Their jibs are really good. You blow up one of them small Purgle demons against the wall, and his intestines stick to it, and then they slowly start inching their way down the wall, like they're sliding down. Like, that's some freaking jib animation that you just don't see.
I can't remember what game it was, but somebody made one of those, 3D, Sprite 3D build engine games, but with, cute, scantily clad anime girls, and then it's got, extreme gore in it. And it's like,
oh,
okay.
Yeah, like you don't remember.
I know I don't remember. I don't even think City covered it. I don't know where I saw that
Every
at.
day.
But I don't know. I don't think that does it for me.
Of something cool to do. I can't remember the lyrics. I was wondering to myself if I could remember the lyrics or not.
Hey, Doki Doki Literature Club went places.
Yeah, that song, that particular song also hits hard.
Yeah.
Based on like after what you know after the fact, fucking amazing.
It is kind of subversive just to fucking listen to it and be like, you little motherfuckers.
But in the end, she loves you so much that she's willing to let go.
Yeah,
I mean, it took a little while to get there, but still.
Loves you so much, just like GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Fucking creepy. All this is making me think is you don't want a machine loving you.
Yeah, probably not.
I guess except Iba. She was alright, right? She didn't do anything too crazy.
Yeah, it's only been 6 years. Give it a little while.
Is Iba the one good AI waifu in gaming?
Oh, she might be. No, surely there's more. We're just not. We need to put on you need to put on your thinking cap for that. There's got to be more.
Do you count it if they actually have a body too? Because I'm hesitant to name any of the Nier girls.
Yeah, plus, I mean, machine is machine, even if it's in a mobile form.
Plus, I don't really think A2 or 2B would be good waifus.
Remember, I'm always on your side.
Yeah, they are pretty willing to self-explode if the need arises.
And kill a motherfucker. I think Iba's the best AI girl so far. Mostly
that you can think of.
That I can think of off the top of my head. Mostly because it's a low bar. She doesn't betray you, alright? That's all you really gotta do. Like, all these other machine bitches, they be treacherous.
That's the bar, is that you just don't get betrayed.
Yeah, I mean...
I wonder if anyone's ever written anything like this. Best machine wife in gaming.
Oh, God. Okay, so Greg's computer's about to get all kinds of viruses.
The best wives in gaming.
Who are the best wives in gaming? I want to know.
Let's see. Yang's wife from Final Fantasy IV, Rosa from Final Fantasy IV. Oh, they mean like
actual characters who are wives. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Rosa's not your wife.
She is in the after years.
You only get married at the end of the game.
Best machine AI waifu in gaming. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy IV basically got a sequel. You know that.
Yeah, and everyone hates it, apparently.
Nah, I mean, it's... Hate is a bit much, I think, but...
I've seen a lot of hate for it.
This is a hard thing to Google.
I mean, not if you don't care about your computer.
People just go with waifus. They don't go with machines.
I'll support you all the way.
You said not if you don't care about your computer.
Best AI waifu only. Wait, what? Oh, is this something for Grand Blue Fantasy? I don't know what they're talking about with AI here. No, this is a Grand Blue Fantasy thing. I don't know. I think AI means what we are talking about. It means.
They don't know what AI means. The whole world has no idea.
Yeah, apparently. I'm actually surprised you couldn't find anything for this.
I'll support you all the way.
You know what? Get Gamer Guides to write up an article, you'll be #1.
Hey, they care about SEO that much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Waifu Gallery, 1,000 plus AI generated waifu arts on Anime Genius. No, I don't think that's what I'm looking for. AI waifu generator. Okay, no, I don't want a waifu generator.
They're taking this AI thing to an extreme.
Okay, I will use robot instead. How about that? Best robot waifu. Oh my god, they're talking about fucking Roombas. Okay, I'm done.
They're talking about fucking Roombas? Well, you tried. You brought up an interesting topic, and the internet immediately ruined it.
As the internet does. Okay. If you're thinking about dating a Roomba, think help. Or seek help. Just, you got problems. And, yeah. Beyond my ability to...
The problem is the Roomba isn't here right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, buddy. So, we didn't talk about it, did we? The Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer? I don't think we ever talked about it.
No. I heard there's a new trailer out. I haven't seen it.
It's a trailer. The biggest takeaway I had from this is everyone who thought that the two protagonists in this game would be doing a Bonnie and Clyde thing were 100% correct. And that's kind of
wasn't that everybody though?
Kinda. I mean, it was kind of the general consensus.
Assumed.
See, I kind of wanted to resist it because I was like, that's a little too obvious. No, apparently the obvious route was the right one this time. So that'll be weird. That'll be weird playing two characters that are. I kind of hope it's an early game thing, and then there's like a betrayal thing later on, and.
Why? Because you wanna personify the characters, and you can't.
Well, I just think it's more interesting.
Yeah, because how are you gonna have a romance like that? Any romantic options go out the window, right?
Well, yeah, that's another thing I was
which
thinking
really
about.
wasn't a thing in Grand Theft Auto 5, but I mean it was in San Andreas and some other games.
In 4, I think.
Yeah. 4 and San Andreas both had that.
I'm just saying, how are you going to go to the strip club if you got a ball and chain at home?
Oh, maybe she goes with you.
Especially a violent ball and chain. Are you awake? What are you doing?
I've been doing fucking work training.
Click, ask her if she wants to go to the strip club.
Do you want to go to the strip club?
I mean, couples go to strip clubs together.
Couples go to strip clubs on... Okay, if you say so.
They do.
Well, then how come you've never taken me to a strip club?
This is a fucking waste of money.
That is kind of a waste of money.
On the internet.
There's free porn on the internet. She's right. And, okay, we do have a strip club. We did. I don't know if we do anymore. It's gone? Okay. The Pink Lady? Okay. We used to have a strip club. It seems what? Okay, well, it can't be any less seedy than Cat fucking West. Oh, really? Okay. Alright, well, I live near Clarksville, Tennessee, and we had a strip club along 41A on the road that leads to Hopkinsville called Cat West. I know this because it was right off to the right, as you're driving to the Oak Grove Walmart up there. I don't know if I've ever seen it when it was actually open. I know it burnt down at one point. I don't drive up that way much anymore. Like, Rebecca drives there every day she has to go to work. She drives up there. Or drive into work, I should say. Which is not that often anymore, and she's glad of that, because it's a lot of gas to drive up to Hopkinsville. Anywho, that was the only strip club I was aware of in this place. But Rebecca tells me that there's another strip club in Hopkinsville called the Pink Lady, and it is somehow seedier looking than Cat West was. So, which is quite astounding, honestly, because Cat West... Look, I probably don't need to say this, but the quality of girls that you're likely to find around Clarksville, Tennessee, has a ceiling, and the ceiling's not super high. No, I'm not saying I'm a 10 out of 10.
You did not need to explain all this.
I'm maybe a 5 or a 4 out of 10. I'm nothing special myself, but if I'm paying money to go to a strip club, I expect better than a 7. All right?
Yeah, but people aren't paying to see you. You expect better for money.
Exactly. Now we do have
fair.
We do have a military base nearby. We do have a college nearby. There's more genetic diversity here than you might think. So things aren't as dire as I'm letting on. But
aside your doubts.
Still, the type of girl who's going to be showing her ass at fucking Cat West on 41A past the base by the Walmart. Yeah, you know, probably not that high. I've never been to Cat West. I can't say for sure. Maybe that's just where all the Clarksville hotties have been all this time. But if I had to say anything, I suspect you're getting higher quality fucking girls at Hooters. Down in downtown near where the college is. That would be my guess. And I've never been to a Hooters either because, again, porn is free and I ain't paying for that shit. So, but if there were to be girls anywhere, I don't think it'd be Cat West. And that holds equally true now that I hear that it's closed down. So, anyways, do you have any final thoughts, Greg?
I liked it a lot. I'm absolutely thrilled that we're getting paid to play it, basically.
Yeah.
It was very fun. It probably, I think, it's not quite as good to me as 999 or Steins Gate or Virtue's Last Reward. But it's up there. Like it's easily in the top third of visual novels I've played.
But only an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, yeah.
You've been playing some stinkers, is what I'm gathering.
I come on. You know I played way more than you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
And 2/3 of them were stinkers.
Well, the entire fucking Ace Attorney series is pretty fucking solid, right? All those Danganronpa games are good times.
I still need to play those. Okay, before we go, one last thing. Greg, assume that Date is back in his Saito body, right? For Nirvana Initiative.
I can't wait to see how they explain that.
I want you to guess how it happened. Before we end this podcast, I want speculation.
Plastic surgery? I got nothing, man. His head fucking blew up.
I think that's what I'm going with too. I think I'm going with they need.
Oh, you know what? There's the crook of it. They need to make him not look like his old self.
No, I'm going
to change
with this.
His face.
So is still doing shit, and they have a reason to investigate So in the next game, and who knows? Maybe they try to pretend So doesn't know about his son's death or whatever the fuck. They're gonna try to do a face-off thing, right? Except instead of taking the guy's face, they're just gonna do plastic surgery. They got nanomachines. No, maybe they use nanomachines to make Date's face look like Saito's again, and like a really advanced plastic surgery.
They move him to North Dakota as a senator, and then he runs into Raiden, and you got Metal Gear Revengeance.
Oh, shut the hell up. No, that's the guess I'm going with. They use nanomachines to make Falco look like Saito so he can go undercover and find information on some other criminal that Saito knew back in the day, who doesn't know that Saito is dead because it's all been covered up. That's what I'm going with.
So well, I mean, so you're going with plastic surgery as well, basically.
Plastic surgery, yeah, but I'll add the caveat that nanomachines play a part. That's how they get it to look like that.
And you think it's for some sort of case, and I'm guessing it's just because they can't. 88 is in trouble. Did I say 88?
89, yeah. That they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, well, he's in trouble, and they're trying to make him dead to the world, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you say it's for a case. I say it's for 89 to just be quote unquote dead.
Yeah, they're doing a face-off thing. So we'll see how this goes. But that's my guess, and I guess we'll see if either of us was right when we get to the Nirvana Initiative.
Probably not.
Probably not. Like, knowing this fucking writer, it'll be like they managed to somehow save part of Saito's fucking consciousness and somehow it gets uploaded.
Or it's some other fucking timeline or some shit.
Or maybe, I didn't even think about that. It could just be another timeline. Because they were kind of teasing timeline stuff with some of it, so it could also be that. Whatever, we'll find out. We'll find out. Hopefully Rebecca actually finishes this game so we can get her reaction to it. But if she does finish it, I'll have her react on the podcast. But I'm losing my voice, so it's a good time to end the podcast. Until next time, see you all later.
Just for the record, I'm nearly done with this fucking bolt gun game.
I didn't think it'd be that long. What, 8 hours?
Yeah, that's what they said.
You got to platinum it?
No, there's no platinum.
Oh, there isn't? Okay, I didn't know that.
No platinum.
Well, I guess I can't tease you for not platinuming it then. Well, you can tell us your review of it next time. Hopefully it sticks in your brain that long. Unless you've got
it's like here's my review. It's Doom, but it's got a Warhammer skin, and it's, you know what? You can press the touchpad button. They'll show you where you need to fucking go.
Okay, so
I like that quite a bit.
7, 8.
Some of these levels are pretty big, and it's got keys just like Doom. So they expect you to remember where that fucking door is. But thankfully, you don't have to remember where that door is.
I mean, as a 40-year-old veteran gamer now, I have to say that my tolerance for where the fuck do I go now in video games is pretty thin. You know what? I don't care if this puts me in the DSP category. Paint every single ledge I can possibly climb on yellow. I am too old to be immersed in how pretty your cliffs look.
They don't do that here, but they do that when you need to go that way. So
as long as I can,
they have the yellow paintings here.
As long as I can tell where to go, I am fine. Part of the fun I have in video games is not figuring out where the fuck the level designer wanted me to go. Maybe it's a personal thing. That's just how it is with me.
Dude, there's a portion of this game where you have to go through portal after portal to continue, which is fine, and you have to pick which portal to go through. And the clue is, does it have like the Imperium of Man gear thing by it or not? So like as long as you go through the right one, it's fine. Except for the very end where they have you going sideways. They have like the weird Escher stairs, you know?
Oh god.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I didn't fucking know, couldn't figure it out.
Well, the Emperor clearly didn't protect.
He did not. The son of a bitch.
Well, he's a fucking rotting corpse on a throne. What do you really expect him to do? Anyways.
Is he really still on the throne?
Yes!
For why?
Because he's practically dead!
Is he dead? Is he not dead?
Okay, he's a super powerful psyker, which means a psionist. That gives him, well, one, he's that, and he's a perpetual, which means when he dies, he will be reborn in another body, but it'll be a different body somewhere else, and there's so much going on with it. All right.
No. Finish it.
He's a very ancient psyker that was created by like all the great sages and shaman of prehistoric Earth combining their powers and doing a ritual sacrifice to put all their powers in some infant, which was born the Emperor. Yeah, which was him. And because they detected a bunch of warp fuckery going on. I'm not going to get into the warp and all this. Basically...
that's why they did it? That's what caused them to do it?
Yeah, basically the shamans were spooked by all the demons they could detect, and they wanted to combine their powers to create an entity who could fight back against them. The Emperor of Mankind, when he is in his mortal early years, he's got superpowers. We don't know what all he can do, but basically you might as well just view him as a deity. And not a small deity, but like a potential galactic level threat, right? But he's just vibing on Earth. He doesn't realize that things are as dire as they are, and he's guiding humanity from behind the scenes. But he also can change his shape. He can manipulate people's minds. He was basically a lot of historical figures. Julius Caesar, Jesus Christ. Sometimes he would manipulate humanity into growing the way he thought would be beneficial.
He was Jesus Christ?
He was all these figures, supposedly. There's a good chance he was every great figure you've heard of. And sometimes he would guide humanity more than others. Eventually, humanity becomes a spacefaring race, and the Emperor of Mankind is like, good, I did my job. Everything is working. We can't be destroyed by one calamity. We're off this planet. Hands off. He's always been kind of hands off, but he would lead things, by pretending to be this guy or that guy or whatever. Those would be his incarnations for that life. So it was kind of a indirect way of leading things or shaping things. Humanity gets so technologically advanced that they create AI that's too powerful for them to control. You've heard the story before. They end up fighting, I can't remember what they're called, fucking some men of metal or men of iron or some shit like that. And their intergalactic civilization collapses as they get in this civil war with their own technology. And they call this, it's now called the Dark Age of Technology. Humans were basically Star Trek, got in a fight with their own AI, and nobody really came out good for it. And humanity was still a spacefaring race, but they were fragmented. They had no central command, instead of being one big human race, they were now just these scattered little confederacies that were weak and were being preyed on by Xenos, and the Emperor of Mankind went, well, this cannot stand. Obviously, humankind was not capable of running things themselves, so now that they fucked everything up, I've got to step up and actually lead things directly for once and put things back together before the Xenos can absolutely destroy everything that humanity built in the past thousands of years. This is like the 25th centuries when this happens. So Earth is kind of a wasteland at this point. Again, the war against the Men of Iron had pretty bad consequences all over the place. He creates a mutant super soldier race called the Thunder Warriors, and he casts himself as a warlord and conquers post-apocalyptic Earth. And then when he does that, after he does that, he immediately betrays the Thunder Warriors he creates, kills them all, creates a new branch of superhuman super soldiers that are even better called the Custodes, and then eventually the Space Marines as we know them, and they are going to be his loyal foot soldiers in reconquering the human domains of the galaxy, which was quite a bit of it. But he realizes there's one fatal flaw in his plan. He can't be everywhere. He's really powerful, but he's not
omnipresent.
Not omnipresent. He's not omnipotent either, and he's not omniscient. But he can be a lot of places and do a lot of things, and nothing's really going to beat him in a stand-up one-to-one fight. So he creates 20 super freaky mutant superhuman sons called the Primarchs. And things happen, chaos fucks with them.
This is getting complicated, isn't it?
This is how it goes, yeah. The Primarchs get fucked with by the Warp God, the Chaos Gods. They go, if the Emperor gets these 20 sons, he's going to be unstoppable. So they somehow manage to steal them away as infants and just put them on random planets throughout the galaxy. And one of them grows up on a volcano planet, and he becomes Vulcan.
This is like the plot to Baldur's Gate at this point.
Well, there are more than 20 Bale spawn. A lot more than 20 Bale spawn, to be fair.
God, I should really play through that.
You really
I've
should.
played it before.
You just don't remember it?
I just haven't beaten it.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a guide for you, Greg. You can ask me questions about how to do that in a satisfactory, fun way. Anyways, turns out humanity kind of sucks, and some of the Primarchs don't really come off all that well adjusted by their experiences growing up in random parts of the galaxy.
I would imagine.
Some of them end up outright sociopaths. One of them ends up having fucking, mechanical shit grafted into his brain to make him a fucking homicidal maniac that has to kill shit to get any relief. Hey, it kind of sounds like Date.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Well, no, that's everyone's favorite Primarch, Angron, the blood for the blood god, skulls for the fucking skull throne guy now. So he found his niche. Anyways, these Primarchs all have their own unique mutations, and they were keyed to lead these legions, and these legions are all created to they're kind of made from the Primarch's DNA, right? And they allow, like, this stupid story, this whole setup is just for them to allow, like, werewolf super soldiers and vampire super soldiers. And if you've got a super soldier that you want, Warhammer will sell you some plastic minis and you can paint them and decorate them however you want. And there's...
Oh, and he can just be what? The offspring of one of these
They're
children?
the offspring of one of these 20 Primarchs, yeah. So that's what all this is. That's why you have Nordic Wolf Guy Space Marines and their Super Nordic Wolf Guy Primarch, Lehman Russ, right? That's how this works. But the Emperor eventually begins his reconquest of the galaxy without them, and he finds them all along the way. There are 2 Primarchs that are unknown. They don't have names, they don't have characteristics, their legions aren't detailed. And the whole conceit about that is they did something happened that was so bad with these 2 fucking legions that the Imperium doesn't even allow the history of it to be recorded. Which is another way that Games Workshop goes, if you want to do anything super stupid or weird with your legions,
we're ready.
They can just be related to these. There's no story. This is your story. It's blank canvas. You want to make your own Space Marine Legion, however stupid it is. It doesn't have to follow any of our canon. This is your blank slip of paper that says, I owe you one dumb Primarch backstory. They're actually really smart world builders. They're really smart-headed, I have to say. That's pretty clever to do that. Most people are just going to want to paint with inside the lines, you know, be like, maybe I want to be a Black Templar, but my Black Templars wear purple. Okay, fine. Whatever. Fucking, Rogel Dorn is still your Primarch. So you're just a splinter branch of the Black Templars, who are themselves a splinter branch of the Imperial Fist, right? That's how all this works. Anyways,
Sure.
The Emperor reunites with all his fucking sons, and his Primarch sons, except for the 2 that will not be named. Also, one of them's a twin set, but they only count as one. Just don't ask. That's how this works. And more importantly, he's got his Primarchs now leading their armies, their legions. So everything is working at fever pitch. And they basically succeed at everything they want to do. They reunite the entirety of the human galaxy. They don't still understand how all this old technology works quite so well. Like, the Dark Age of technology was still more technologically advanced than the Imperium was at its height. But you know what? They're fixing problems. They're knitting things back together. They can worry about how to deal with their old AI tech and how to get everything working in a safer manner next time. And it's all going to work out fine because we've got our own god human leading the way. And he can't possibly fuck things up, right? The problem is the Emperor of Mankind kind of sucks at being a human. So, Angron was a gladiator. He has, like, I think they're called the butcher's nails grafted into his brain that makes him crazy and violent. And all he wants to do is he's part of a gladiator uprising on his planet, right? And all he wants to do is fight the final battle against his slavers and see things out on his home planet before leaving with the Emperor, right? Well, the Emperor goes, actually, the guys who enslaved you and fucked with your brain, they're kind of important. Like, I don't have time for political drama right now. I'm trying to reconquer a galaxy. So you're just going to have to suck this up and make good with them and get your ass on this ship and leave this legion that I have for you because I got more important shit to do than indulge your revenge fantasy, 1, or 2, let you go commit suicide by running into this fucking mob of your fucking enemies in this doomed last stand that you want. He does this with a lot of his Primarch sons, and he's just kind of...
They don't appreciate that,
They don't appreciate it. He's just kind of a dick, and he's like, no, see, I'm the Emperor, I'm the boss, you're my Primarchs, and now that I found you, you're going to do what I say. And, you know, some of them are loyal, some of them are resigned to it because he's super powerful and there's not much... You can't say no. I mean, you can, but it's not going to do anything. So not every Primarch is... They're not one big happy family, despite what some fan art would make you think. Anyways, shit happens. One of his Primarchs, one of his favored Primarchs, Horus, turns on him. And turns out that being a dick to demi-deities that you view as your sons, not the smartest move, because half of his Primarch sons turned on him. Split the Imperium in half. There's a big civil war called the Horus Heresy, and there's all kinds of shit that's going on, but the last thing the Emperor was doing before the civil war broke out was, he was trying to... Okay, the only way you can travel in 40k is basically by going through the warp. And warp travel in Star Trek and warp travel in 40k are two entirely different things.
Well,
because,
I mean, I played Rogue Trader.
Yeah, you know then. The warp in 40k is basically hell. You have to go to hell to move faster than light in 40k. Well, the thing is, the Eldari, the space elves, they figured out how to do this without going into hell.
Really?
They just had their own shadow realm. God, I can't remember what it's called. I can remember all these other details, but I can't remember what this realm was called. Anyways, the Emperor is like, you know what? Why reinvent the wheel if I can just steal this guy's wheel and use it? So he wants to break into this fucking alternate realm that basically allows the Eldari to travel through it and effectively...
Yeah,
it's not,
as he should.
Yeah,
it's
it's not the material plane, but it's not hell. So, it basically gives them the ability to do FTL travel without, having to risk getting destroyed by demons every time you do it.
Every time, yeah.
I really wish I could remember what that was called. But anyways, he's trying to create something that will create like permanent links to it and take control of the webway. The webway is what it's called. And he wants to basically take over the webway and use it as humanity's own personal little space superhighway. And he's going through a delicate procedure to create like permanent gates and attune all the whatever sci-fi bullshit. And one of his Primarch sons decides to tattle on the rest of the heretics. And he contacts the Emperor through the warp with a psychic message saying, "Hey, my brothers are boo-boo heads and they're turning traitor on you. You should, do something." While the Emperor's in the middle of this fucking delicate procedure, it fucks everything up, creates a giant portal in the center, under the Himalayan mountains where the Emperor's secret base is, and now there's a portal to hell there, and the Custodians are fighting it under the Imperial Palace, so the Emperor has to focus all his energy on keeping this warp portal from opening fully and destroying Earth. He's very not happy with the son of his, Magnus, and he sends a message saying, "Bring Magnus here. I gotta talk to my boy about what I told him not to do that he did," i.e. interrupting me and basically creating a warp portal to in the center of Earth. That's not cool. So that's how you get around the Horus Heresy. There's 10 Primarch legions that are loyal and 10 that are heretical, and the Emperor can't really personally intervene because he's, trying to close this warp portal to hell, and shit goes...
Being dead on a throne?
Well,
he's doing this?
No.
Are we not there yet?
He's still fine, but what happens is, Horus, the leader of this insurrection against the Emperor, is being manipulated by the Chaos Gods, and eventually the traitor legions make it to Earth, and the Emperor goes, all right, he has to sit on a golden throne, right? The whole thing was, he has to sit on a golden throne, and that creates this light in the warp.
Better not do any heretical speak.
I'm not, okay? I'm telling you what happened. Anyways, he has to sit on this golden throne, and that creates, a guiding beacon through the warp. It makes it so that everybody, no matter where you are in the galaxy, if you're traveling through the warp, you can see this golden beacon. And it's basically a lighthouse in the warp that allows people to navigate.
Well, just a home, right?
Yeah, slightly less suicidal. It makes going through the warp less suicidal. And the whole thing about getting the webway is then he wouldn't have to sit there and use his psychic energy on this golden throne to create this beacon that allowed this empire of his to continue to exist. It's fine when he's traveling through the warp and he's leading an army because, then he's just the Emperor. He can just fucking go places and nothing in the warp is going to fuck with him. But when he's not actively doing it, then it becomes kind of a risky proposition where you're trying to travel through hell and the beacon makes it less than absolutely suicidal. Just makes it kind of suicidal. And he, that's unacceptable. The webway would make it a lot safer, and he's just going to do that. Now he's got to stay on this golden throne on Earth, because his idiot son Horus fucked up his ritual, And that's what he's doing most of this Horus Heresy Civil War, is sitting on this throne and trying to keep this portal closed, trying to fend off demons, and also serving as this beacon. And when Horus and the armies, the traitor armies, reach Earth, the Emperor goes, okay, I gotta get off this throne a little bit. I gotta go spank my son. And one of his friends, who's also a psyker, but a much weaker one, sits on the throne. I can't remember his name, but he sits on the throne while the Emperor is going off to go and confront Horus. And this ends up killing the Emperor's friend. He's on there for a few hours. It is enough to burn him out completely and turn him to ash. He dies immediately after getting off the throne. But the Emperor goes to confront Horus, and Horus is empowered by all the Chaos deities. He's like their prime Chaos champion, and I think in one of the Horus Heresy books it mentions that this almost makes Horus temporarily as powerful as the Emperor. And there's also, like...
What, just by getting his dad?
No, just by having all 4 warp deities channeling power into you and acting, like, making you their champion.
So,
I think it's supposed to be a temporary thing. I don't know, I didn't actually read those. I'm just going off what I heard online. There's also rumors about shit, like... People speculate that... Because Horus was the Emperor's favorite, and people speculate that the Emperor didn't want to kill Horus. He still thought he could be redeemed, and like Horus killed another one of the Primarchs named Sanguinius, the angel one. That's why the vampires sometimes go in blood rages, because they're traumatized by their Primarch being killed, so they sometimes just start screaming Horus and randomly attacking people. So, anyways, Horus killed Sanguinius. The Emperor is kind of upset about that. You're not supposed to kill your brothers, but he still doesn't want to kill Horus, and Horus grievously wounds the Emperor, using all the super warp powers he has now, and I think there's a story about how, like, a lone Imperial Guardsman intervenes on behalf of the Emperor and is like, no, don't hurt my Emperor, he's my hero! And Horus kills him, and that's what kills him right in front of the Emperor, and that's what makes the Emperor realize, oh no, this guy can't be saved. So he just kind of just waves his hand and erases Horus from existence, and that's all, like, he was always powerful enough to do that, or some shit. And the problem is, now he's mortally wounded, and he could potentially heal if he had the time, but his psyker buddy who was on the throne is burnt up and dead. He has to get back on this golden throne, so some of his surviving sons take him, put him on the golden throne, and he has to use what little energy he has left to power this golden throne, and can't use it to heal himself. So he has 2 options.
And he does that instead of just so the rest of humanity can travel the warp.
Well, no, not just that. There's also the Hell Portal on Earth. If the Emperor stops being on the Golden Throne, all faster-than-light travel is gone instantly. All protections against the warp are gone, and Earth just gets consumed into a giant fucking warp swarm. It basically becomes another Eye of Terror. The homeland of humanity is now basically hell in space. So...
Can't he just move them all?
He doesn't have the power anymore. He's mortally wounded and using all his energy to keep this portal on Earth from opening up and to power the Golden Throne to create a beacon so everyone else can travel around. And by travel around, I don't mean go on day trips. You gotta do trade, you gotta do administrative stuff. You've got to get your armies from point A to point B. Chaos was never eradicated. They're still out there. They're still fighting. They're not as unified now, but, you know, the Imperium is under threat from all sides. Most of their Primarchs didn't last the next few centuries. They either wandered off and fucked off to who knows where, or they died, or whatever, or half of them, you know, turned traitor and either died or went back into the warp. That's why the Emperor's on the Golden Throne. Humanity, the Imperium of Man would literally collapse instantly if he got off the throne. And he would still be a mostly dead corpse. I don't know if at this point he can heal himself still. I'm presuming he could have healed himself immediately after the fight with Horus, but didn't have the time. It's either get on this throne or lose everything. Everything. And so he's been slowly dying on this throne for 10,000 plus years, immobile. And the thing about 40K that makes it intriguing as a setting is every race has their but for. Every single race can quote-unquote win if only something happens, right? If only the Eldari can find a way to defeat Slaanesh and get their gods back, then they would become the supreme race in the galaxy again. If only humanity could find a way to heal the Emperor of Mankind, then they would be able to, they would be at the top again. What's going to stop him at that point? But he can't get off the throne, and if he dies, yes, he'll be reborn, but everything will collapse. Who knows where he'll be reborn? Who knows in what body? Who knows, how he'll be raised in his next life? Because presumably he's still got to go through, years of adolescence and relative powerlessness before he regains his memories and powers, if he does at all. So you've got to have him on this throne, and the throne is not sufficient to sustain him. He's still slowly dying. They devised a patch that kind of slows the process a little bit, where they got to sacrifice 1,000 psychers a day, so that the Emperor can consume them for their psychic power to keep himself alive. Yeah, 1,000 psychers a day, every day from the entire galaxy, are being sacrificed on Earth to keep the Emperor alive.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's grim. It's even a little bit dark. It might be grim dark, but
oh my god,
that's why the Emperor's on the throne. That's why humanity's in the state it's in. And he can't directly speak. Well, I think he can directly speak. Whatever.
If he's out there sacrificing 1,000 psychers every day, I don't think that's sustainable.
It's not. That's the whole thing about 40K. Everyone has a but for, but everything's kind of getting worse for everybody at the same time. Except for one race. The Orcs.
What's that?
The Orcs just love fighting. And they've got a lot of fighting they can do. And it only looks like there's going to be more fighting for the Orcs in the future. The Orcs are the winners of 40K because they can't lose. They get to fight no matter what happens.
So as long as they're fighting, they're happy?
As long as they're fighting, they're happy.
Yeah, I like that, I guess.
And even they kind of have a but for, they used to be much bigger, much smarter, and much more powerful. I think they were called Korks at one point. Orcs and elves were created by, I think, the same race to be super weapons, right? To fight as proxies, and those elder races are now greatly diminished, and the galaxy was eventually taken over. The ancient Eldari at the height of their power fought the Korks and managed to defeat them so badly that they devolved into Orcs. They couldn't eradicate them completely, but they eradicated them bad enough that the Orcs are not super intelligent. Basically, a Kork was analogous to a Primarch. And you had a whole tree of Orcs below that, right? Because they're a fungal race that evolves through different forms. They're kind of symbiotic, but they don't share sentience, at least not as far as I know, so they're not a hive mind, but they do have some combined psychic powers, and your snotlings, your grots, your orcs, your knobs, they all fill different roles in the same superorganism that is an orc. By the way, orcs like fighting against each other as much as they like fighting other races, so even if they defeat everything, they still win because they still get to fight each other. So the orcs are the only winners.
Make machines work just by believing in them?
That's contentious. That's kind of, and it's fun for the memes, but my take on it is the orcs just have latent knowledge of how things work. So when they are just mixing things together to make them work, to the eye of another race, the thing that they made shouldn't work. But an orc knows. They are basically the ultimate MacGyvers. And they are taking a toothpick without actively knowing it. They do kind of know it, but it's part instinctual and part knowledge. And they can basically take a rusty tin can, a paper clip, and some fucking mud, and somehow turn that into a working firearm. It's not like their power of belief makes it work. They're literally fucking MacGyvers, and their innate ability to build technology up from nothing makes it work. So, yes, it's a bullshit answer, but it's also a fun bullshit answer. So,
that's canon?
I think that's canon. I should say that all this is to the best of my knowledge. That orcs do have like some psychic field, the wog that influences them together as a group, and it does grow more powerful the more of them there are, but they can't all just get together and think, all right, today we are all going to choose as an act of will to believe that red actually makes things go slower. They can't do that. So there's a reason why when an orc paints something red, it goes faster. And it's not just because they think it will make it go faster. It's because the paint they are using is somehow making it more aerodynamic or whatever the fuck to actually make it go faster. They just don't understand that's what they're doing. They just think red makes it go faster. They instinctively know how to make this red aerodynamic paint. So yes, indeed, when they do paint it red, it makes it go faster. So orcs are a great race. They're way more interesting than you think they are. However interesting you think they are, orcs are more interesting than that. Hi there, Joker. Hi there, puppy. Yes. Did Rebecca free you from the prison of her room? Having nachos today.
Well, I find all this lore stuff interesting. I just never really got into it myself.
Well, careful, because that's how this starts.
Yeah. Yeah, don't want to get too deep into it. I'll be even broker than I am, and that would be impossible.
I will say buying some of the books, not a bad idea. There's some interesting books out there. Pretty much every book about orcs has been a pretty fun read. So I can give you the names of some of those books. Stay the fuck away from the minis. You will be a few $1,000s less rich after that. And I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if I had more time to do it, but it's hard to find time when you've got this much of a gaming hobby, and you've got as much of a gaming hobby as I do, if not more. So I'd say avoid the minis. Avoid the minis.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Or maybe just buy a couple and see how you like. No,
shut up.
All right, but that'll do it for this episode of the 3G Podcast. I think this was 444. We will be back next week, hopefully, storms permitting. Right now, the forecast says there's a storm on Wednesday, but nothing on Sunday, so we'll see how it goes. Until then, see y'all later.
All right, later, everybody.